Chapter 448. Selling Reiki ingredients alone is not a long-term solution. If they don't want to expose their identity, they must have huge financial resources to live a comfortable life in the Nami Alliance. Cargo starships can make money. One way is that they are the private ships of big firms. They won't carry outsiders, and the goods are also transferred in large quantities. The other way was to go to the Nanyang Sea in ancient Huaxia. There were starships. Opportunistic small merchants brought their own goods and rented the warehouse of the cargo starship, including the merchants themselves. Whether the merchants could make money or not was not in the consideration of the owner of the cargo starship. Anyway, the starship had collected enough fees from the moment they boarded. After paying the passage fee and deducting the fuel, they would definitely make a profit. Many interstellar businessmen don't have much capital when they start their career. They know how to curry favor and are willing to work hard. They slowly develop by renting warehouses. According to Han Weiya, the Han family, which is now settled on the Moonstar, also started from small businessmen for several generations. Little by little, they have their own independent cargo starship. The load of the Edward starship is not huge, but it is definitely not small either. Lin Luoran doesn't like to deal with strangers. Besides, there are many secrets on the starship. She has never thought about carrying small businessmen to make money, so she can only choose the latter. She goes to the Nami Star to watch the fun and sell a batch of goods by the way. In Vale. Colin takes the credit crystal card to apply for a flight permit and a temporary residence permit. The Edward starship and several people have been registered in the general network of the Nami Alliance. The Edward starship can land like other starships, and they can also step on this huge planet openly. The brown sandstone has long been covered by plastic ground. Near the huge starship landing site is a trading area. There is no animal husbandry, no breeding, no industry here, only commerce. The N2 planet has taken a different approach. It has built a famous business circle on the sandstone. The two stars above its head make the night never come. The N2 planet is forever a star that never sleeps. The starship's stay not only brings trade and taxes, but also the service industry, which is dependent on commerce, has reached its peak. The whole planet is planned into countless commercial districts. Near each starship landing site, there is a complete industrial chain. From food, water, clothes, shoes, accessories, genetic medicine, to all kinds of beasts, weapons, and even intelligent life forms as pets, or a huge starship. As long as you had credits, the N2 star was a paradise for you to lead a befuddled life. There is a saying in the Nami Alliance that you can find anything you want on the N2 planet. Although this was an exaggeration, it could be seen that the trade on planet N2 was flourishing. Walking on the dust-free street, there are floating sports cars passing by from time to time. Lin Luoran feels that Will is beside her. The blood in Colin's bones was clamoring and boiling. The never-falling light of the nightless star made Weir. Colin's face, which had not been exposed to the sun for several months, was even whiter. In fact, he really looked like a gigolo. Those businessmen were not spreading rumors to create trouble. Lin Luoran smiles unconsciously. Ma Shuangshuang is holding Han Weiya. The cyan little fox is shamelessly cutting in line between two young girls. Ma Yiming's straight back and Colin's handsome face remind her of the peaceful time 300 years ago. Such tranquility, such a beautiful youth. Hey, this building sells clothes and accessories. The shining glass windows of the building are bathed in the morning light. The presents in the window are colorful and the diamonds are dazzling. It is indeed a shopping paradise for women. Seeing Ma Shuangshuang holding Han Weiya's arm and stopping in front of the window, Lin Luoran knows what the little girl is thinking. They have plenty of time to go shopping. Colin is busy. He has to find business opportunities among the many goods on the N2 star. Let's go for a stroll. It's not like we can't afford to eat without faith points. Lin Luoran takes the lead and the two girls are happy. The cyan little fox is lazy. It can't figure out why women love shopping so much. Colin thinks about it and follows them in. The royal princess is getting married, so it is the best time to make money from women. They might as well go shopping. The high-end shopping mall is not like the automatic big market. Even the most calm woman will be overwhelmed by the constant compliments and spend a lot of credit points. Therefore, there are handsome waiters everywhere in this 10-story shopping mall. These people come from the Neptune star, which is famous for its appearance in the Nami alliance. It is said that 90% of the Neptune star is water. These Neptune star have gills on their gills, and they can swim freely in the water. It is a pity that God has given them outstanding appearance, but their talent in spirit power and body arts is mediocre. Even if they go out of their home planet, they can only find jobs in the entertainment industry or in the service industry in the alliance. The first floor sells women's clothes, including spring, summer, autumn, and winter, high-quality fur coats, and silk dresses. All of them have a strong medieval style. Layers of skirts are superimposed. Most of the colors are beige and light yellow. They are all in the court style. At first, the two girls have the urge to swipe their credit cards. But in the end, they become ordinary. Lin Luoran doesn't buy them. The cyan little fox shows its teeth at the two fox coats. Lin Luoran is afraid of violence, so she grabs it and takes the elevator to the second floor. The shoes are calf leather boots and a female knight's dress suitable for riding a horse. Crystal shoes with thin heels over 12 centimeters. Oh, Cinderella is not afraid of twisting her feet. Bright and low-key, from boots to high heels, lambskin flat shoes for women, the second floor belonged to the world of women's shoes. Lin Luoran looks at Ma Shuangshuang and Han Weiya's shining eyes. As a parent, she dotes on them spontaneously. She buys so many shoes for them that there are only 2 waiters around them when they enter the door. After they are sold, there are 7 or 8 people around them, treating them as big buyers. The price is really not cheap. It is said that the shoes are designed by a famous designer. Anyway, the things they buy can be delivered to their door. Lin Luoran feels soft when she sees the 2 happy. High heels are more like a girl's dream. Many years ago, when she was young, there were no upper-class parties. She could wear school uniform all year round. 100 years later, when she has the ability, she prefers simple long skirts. It is more comfortable to step on soft cloth shoes. Compared with the luxurious clothes loved by Nami people, Lin Luoran's clean appearance is like the most ordinary Qing Miao people. However, many waiters sneak peeks at her. Walking around, half a day has passed. There is a leisure area in the shopping area, which provides simple but high-quality milk tea and pastries. It is said that there is a big restaurant on the 5th floor. The cyan little fox is arrogant and doesn't want to go. Lin Luoran and others just eat some snacks. The store is too big. Colin Wu collapses into a ball. Lin Luoran simply leaves him, Ma Yiming, and cyan little fox. She takes Ma Shuangshuang and Han Weiya straight to the 10th floor. It is a jewelry store. As a valuable heavy metal, gold is also popular in the Nami alliance. Diamonds are also relatively common. There are also silver and all kinds of colorful rare metals. They have been popular in the Nami alliance for countless years. The shopping guide eagerly introduces them to jade, which became popular in the Nami alliance 50 years ago. There used to be 4 famous jades in Huaxia: Hetian jade, Lantian jade, Dushan jade, and Xiuyu jade. The jade culture has a long history. Including the history of the world of cultivation, it has been more than 10,000 years. However, the Nami alliance is different. Jade contains a lot of energy and reiki. Before that, no one associated it with jewelry. However, it suddenly became popular 50 years ago. Lin Luoran picks up a jade safety buckle at random. Looking at the familiar huaxia knot, she suppresses her emotions and doesn't seem to be abnormal. I don't know why it suddenly became popular. Nowadays, jade accessories and jade jewelry are more and more exquisite. The Sea People shopping guide with a sweet smile cleverly says, I heard that it is a style from other alliances. This safety buckle is made of jadeite. It is also a good gift for me. Lin Luoran knows more about jadeite than all the salespeople here put together. The safety buckle is priced at 1,200 credits. It is made of Huaqing jade, which is not transparent. It is also a low-grade jade on the earth before the new era. You get what you pay for. She once sent excellent jade jewelry to Ma Shuangshuang. Even the little girl doesn't like such a safety buckle. The sweet shopping guide knows that the three of them should be big customers, so she takes them to the VIP area. Madam, please have a look. These are the most popular styles of Nami Star. Our store has just arrived. Little girls like earrings and bracelets. Lin Luoran looks at the ornaments one by one. Her eyes stop on a hairpin on the crystal stand. Nami people don't have the habit of wearing hairpins, let alone this yellow jadeite hairpin. It is beautifully carved in the style of a lifelike phoenix holding a pearl. She can be sure that this thing is not a magic weapon wandering in the interstellar space with her spiritual mind. Then why is it in the shape of a phoenix hairpin? Birds such as phoenix should be the local totem of Huaxia. Lin Luoran is confused. Show me that phoenix hairpin. The sweet shopping guide says apologetically, Madam, that yellow jadeite phoenix hairpin is an early work of a famous designer, so, you don't want to sell it? It doesn't matter. I just think it is unique. Do you know the name of the designer? It's Manja Nolan, the royal designer of the royal family. Her works are very popular on Nami Star. Only a few of them have been circulated. I'm really sorry, dear customer. The shopping guide is sincere. Lin Luoran is not an unreasonable person. She asks casually, will this designer still work for the princess wedding? The sweet shopping guide thinks for a while and says she doesn't know. The wedding of the princess of Nami Star is really a different world from the jewelry shopping guide on the distant N2 planet. Chapter 449. There must be a lot of people going to the Nami Star for the wedding of the royal princess. It's said that it's summer on the Nami Star. Colin thinks about it and orders a batch of valuable natural cotton cloth and a kind of fruit similar to coconuts that can be kept for a long time. Anyway, it's convenient to transport them. They have little capital. The cotton cloth is set at 40 million credit points. The coconuts are cheap. They are also set at 30 million credit points. 1 kilogram is only 50 credit points. Cheap goods occupy a lot of space. Lin Luoran can finally comfort herself that she is not a black sheep. Hearing that Colin has ordered the goods, Lin Luoran takes the yellow jadeite phoenix hairpin out of the mall. In fact, it's not that she can't buy it. In this world, as long as she can pay enough money, no seller will refuse to sell it. For this yellow jadeite phoenix hairpin, Lin Luoran pays 9 million credit points. Nolan's fame makes this small piece of yellow jadeite worth at least 100 times. However, it's still worth it. At least she gets the yellow jadeite hairpin and gets a lot of information about Nolan. News about Nolan. The female designer who came out of nowhere has been recognized by the Nami royal family step by step. She has been famous for 40 or 50 years, but no one has seen Nolan Jinren. If it weren't for the fact that the royal family members of the Nami Star occasionally wear jewelry designed by her to public occasions, the outside world would doubt whether this lady is still alive. Master Nolan loves jadeite, which is a new material of jewelry in her life. It's said that jade can be changed from an energy source to jewelry because of Master Nolan's efforts. Recalling the admiring words of the mall manager, Lin Luoran solemnly puts the yellow jadeite in the space. She really wants to meet this legendary designer. Anyway, she is going to the Nami Star. Is she impressed by the Earth culture or is she from the Earth? There would always be a moment when the riddle would be revealed. Stepping on the light of the stars at dusk, the N2, which was not a night star, only had a gentle and beautiful golden dusk. Walking on the streets, which looked like a European castle, was actually a high-tech building. On the streets, there were noblewomen wearing lace gloves and holding feather fans. The whole scene was covered with the warm colors of a movie. Dusk falls. The excitement of the N2 star has just begun. None of them wanted to return to the starship. There were many smaller streets behind the supermarket. Different from the busy streets, they were a paradise for small traders. It is similar to the Juzhou market that Lin Luoran has seen in Dongting City. It looks messy, but it may actually be the essence of a city. The barbecued meat skewers are disliked by the noble ladies for being greasy and unhygienic. Lin Luoran calmly sits in a roadside shop. The siblings of the Ma family don't mind. Han Weiya has always been so confused that she is naturally dumb. Only Will, who is well-dressed, cares. The corner of Colin's mouth twitched. The boss was a middle-aged man from planet Vinci. His nose was sharp, and his nostrils were usually closed. He spoke standard galactic language with a heavy accent, but he was enthusiastic and candid, allowing one to ignore the grease on his white dudu. The kebabs sizzled on the charcoal fire. That was the sound of oil burning, and a rich fragrance wafted out. The uncle from planet Fansai sprinkled some special seasonings on the kebabs. Can you eat spicy food? 5 humans and 1 fox, except for Will. Colin didn't nod, but they were all nodding. The cyan little fox was very cute. Seeing it nodding, the middle-aged man from planet Fansai laughed and said that this pet was very smart. Foxy is not a fool. It has already asked Xiaoji to make a small translating device. It blackmailed Lin Luoran and made a hollow jade bead to hide the translating device in. It hangs the bead around its neck like a small bell. Therefore, the cyan little fox could understand the meaning of the middle-aged man from planet Fansai. If Lin Luoran didn't catch it, it would have destroyed his stall. Can't you shut your mouth with food? Lin Luoran gave it a skewer of meat. The little fox snorted and swallowed. It was very cowardly to buy over the cooking of the middle-aged man from planet Fansai. The meat was moderately spicy, but it was not the chili on the earth. Was it a spicy spice like Cornell? Uncle Anthony, what kind of spicy spice did you use for the barbecue? It tastes so good. It was not dinner time yet, so the restaurant was not very busy. Anthony had time to chat with the customers. Hearing Lin Luoran praising his barbecue, Anthony was very proud. You have a good taste, little girl. This spice is called heartburn, a specialty of planet Fansai. It is spicier and more fragrant than ginger. It is famous throughout the Alliance. Anthony's white beard was shaking. He was very proud when talking about the specialty of his hometown. Tears welled up in his eyes. Lin Luoran just thought that Anthony missed his hometown. After a long time, she accidentally learned that 2,000 years ago, a member star of the Nami Alliance accidentally discovered the extremely remote planet Fansai. Heartburn brought delicious taste to the table of the people of the Nami Alliance, but it also brought the chaos of war to planet Fansai. This spice was very picky about its growing environment. Planet Fansai became the spice-planting planet of the Nami Alliance. Its natives wandered among the stars and rarely returned home. Is there no chili in the Nami Alliance? Afraid that the name was different, Lin Luoran pretended to fumble in her sleeve and took out a red pepper. Is this the chili you mentioned? I haven't seen it before. Let me have a look. Anthony took the chili. Just by smelling it, he could tell that it was spicy. Out of the professional habits of a chef, he tried it in confusion and almost choked on the spiciness. After a while, he felt that his mouth was full of saliva, and it was very stimulating to his taste buds. It's really good stuff. I don't know how delicious it will be when I barbecue it. Anthony sees the value of chilies at once. Lin Luoran also thinks it is feasible to plant chilies. They don't have to bury spirit stones in the ground and take the risk of selling ingredients with Reiki. As long as the people of the Nami Alliance accept the taste of chilies, their lives in the Nami Alliance will be very easy. People from the center of Chuan province love spicy food. Lin Luoran, who only relies on the taste of chilies to remember her hometown, will promote chilies in the distant Nami Alliance. Lin Luoran was very happy. Anthony's barbecue tasted really good. When Anthony mentioned that he wanted to buy this new spice, she generously said that she could give him a few pounds of chili to try when she left the N2 planet. Anthony immediately understood that Lin Luoran wanted to do the chili business. Just sell more to me. I'm very confident in this spice. Okay, but it can't be delivered until tomorrow. Both the guests and the host were happy. Anthony not only gave them a 20% discount, but also gave a few extra skewers of barbecue to the cyan little fox. In Anthony's words, he had never seen such a small pet with such a big appetite. Before the cyan little fox rolled its eyes impolitely, Lin Luoran dragged it and called the other 4 people to leave the barbecue shop. Lin Luoran returned to the starship and planted chili in the open space in the space that night. Twigs, chili peppers, millet peppers, jalapenos, bell peppers, sweet peppers. If she didn't sort them out, she wouldn't have known that she had stored so many chili seeds. There were mildly spicy and extremely spicy varieties. Some of them could only be used as dishes. Lin Luoran decided to plant them in batches. Some of them were harvested when they were tender, so they wouldn't go bad when stored in the space. Some of them needed to be kept on the branches long enough so that they could be picked to be dried red chili. Agricultural robots were in charge of all these. Lin Luoran came and went like the wind with an expression of, "I'm very busy recently. I don't have time." The 3 monsters in the space were stunned. In their impression, Lin Luoran was always leisurely and comfortable. When did she work so hard for a living? Only White Fairy knew that Lin Luoran hadn't thought about the 10,000-year hollow azurite, so she was hiding from her. By the spring, White Fairy was holding a flute and playing an old song from thousands of years ago. She was neither happy nor sad, nor anxious, as if the 10,000-year hollow azurite was not something she cared about at all. At dusk of the next day, Lin Luoran was the only one who delivered chili. The 4 young people were not as fit as her, so they were all tired from shopping the day before. Lin Luoran went to the barbecue shop as usual with dozens of pounds of dried chili in her hand. Uncle Anthony's business was just right. Seeing Lin Luoran, he was so anxious that he was sweating. He apologized that he didn't have time to greet her. Lin Luoran picked a table and sat down. After Anthony finished his work, she handed the chili to him. She simply told him that it was best to grind the chili into powder and how to make sauce. Anthony was eager to try it, so he immediately ground some chili powder with a grinder. This time, the pungent smell of the barbecue attracted the attention of the people in the small market. An old man with a pug nose slipped over. He sneezed and asked what the smell was. Anthony didn't say anything. He smiled and handed him a skewer of barbecue. The old man with a pug nose was so spicy that he jumped up and down. After that, he ate several skewers and drank a large glass of water before he recovered. "Anthony, what kind of spice is this? It's so overbearing." Anthony was vigilant. He remembered that they hadn't talked about the price yet. He didn't want to be disturbed by the old man. Pug Nose ran a grocery store and sold all kinds of strange things. He didn't want to let Pug Nose make a profit and sell it to him. He hid Lin Luoran's dozens of pounds of chili in the store. When he came out, he saw Pug Nose dragging Lin Luoran to the grocery store diagonally across the street. "Hey, little girl, go and have a look at the things in my store. Is there anything you like? We can exchange it for the spice." Lin Luoran burst into tears. She was actually old enough to be the grandmother of the old man with a pug nose. The old man was so strong that he dragged her all the way to a messy store. Lin Luoran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. When she was about to sell some chili to him, she accidentally saw a dusty wooden box on the shelf. At that moment, she felt a strange sense of intimacy and couldn't help but stop. Chapter 450. This is a small grocery store with an area of less than 10 square meters. There are so many goods that they are even placed on the sidewalk. It seems that the business is not good. Many goods are covered with dust. The store is low and crowded. Only the old man with the pug nose can walk freely. Lin Luoran is pulled in. The stool at the door trips her and she almost falls. However, if not, her eyes will not fall on the wooden box on the shelf. It is a wooden box of 1 square foot. It is covered with dust and she can't see the wood. It is stuffed at the bottom of the shelf and is covered with old dust. Why does she have a strange sense of intimacy in her heart? Lin Luoran thinks for a while and immediately decides to buy this box. The old man with the pug nose smiles and says, "Look at your face. Do you have something you like?" Lin Luoran wants to ask for the wooden box by name. However, seeing the greediness on the pug nose's face, she doesn't want to cause more trouble. She has to pretend to pick something. "Let me have a look first." It is more like an antique shop than a grocery store. There are rusty metal balls and chipped wooden cups. The only fresh thing is the fruit at the door. The fruit looks like the date on the earth. Lin Luoran takes one and puts it in her mouth. It tastes sour and astringent. Her expression is as wonderful as fireworks. Her hands are covered with dust. Except for the wooden box she wants, she doesn't choose anything. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. However, the old man with the pug nose has an expression of, "All my goods are good," which makes her want to cry. "Let's exchange for these fruits. They are not available in my hometown. Try them." Lin Luoran points at the date and says. The old man with the pug nose comes closer, "1 caddy for 1 caddy. Do you want to exchange? This is a fruit from a distant foreign land." Lin Luoran is speechless. She doesn't want to talk with him anymore. She runs to the opposite side and asks Uncle Anthony for 2 caddies of dried chilies. She pretends to look around the shelf and picks out a big iron box and the wooden box she has been interested in for a long time. She puts them in front of the pug nose. "1 caddy for me and you give me a box to put it in." The pug nose stares at the 2 boxes and decisively takes the big iron box back, 1 caddy for such a big box. What a waste. The wooden box has a sliding lid. Pug nose puts some Elaeagnus angustifolia in the box and hands it to Lin. Lin changes the chili and leaves without looking back. Carrying 2 pounds of spices, Pug nose is very satisfied with the deal. Lin Luoran and Uncle Anthony settle the credit. Eager to explore the secret of the wooden box, she is not in the mood to go shopping anymore. Lin Luoran hurries back to the starship. The 4 of them gathered around and saw that she seemed to have brought something good back, but it was only a dusty wooden box. When they opened the lid, it was a box of jujube-like fruits. The greedy little fox wanted to taste everything. After eating the Elaeagnus angustifolia, its facial features wrinkled due to the sourness. Everyone laughed, and Foxy ran away with tears in her eyes. After chatting with Xiaoji for a while, she watches the production and processing of chilies. Except for the green chilies stored in her space, the dry red chilies are all dried by the assembly line. Another batch of chilies is ripe in her space. The agricultural robot waves its thin spider-like hands to cut off each chili accurately without hurting the buds or leaves, which saves Lin Luoran a lot of trouble. Lin Luoran takes the box into her space. Before she can study it, the fire phoenix flies out and howls, "I smell phoenix wood." Lin Luoran raises the wooden box, "You mean this?" The fire phoenix nods. The phoenix lives on the parasol tree, so Lin Luoran knows that the box is actually made of parasol wood. The other residents in her space are awakened by the fire phoenix. They gather around and watch Lin Luoran wiping the dust off the wooden box, revealing its body with wood grain. The box is 1 foot square, engraved with generous and simple cloud patterns. Lin Luoran looks inside and outside of the box carefully. There are no special symbols and patterns. She doesn't know why she feels so familiar. She doesn't give up and explores the inside with her spiritual mind. There is no mechanism or reiki. It is clearly an ordinary wooden box. The three monsters disperse in a hubbub, feeling very bored. Lin Luoran holds the wooden box and doesn't know what to do with it. White Fairy hesitates for a while and walks forward with a smile. I have heard that Phoenix Wood can isolate spiritual mind. You can try other ways. Lin Luoran suddenly understands. She thanks White Fairy and takes the wooden box back to her room in the cabin. Sitting on the chair, she reaches out and knocks on every part of the box. Parasol wood is a good material for making guqin. When she knocks on it, she can feel the clear sound, like a mountain spring hitting a stone. Except for the slightly thick bottom of the box, the sound is dull. Lin Luoran makes a gesture with her fingers, and there are flashing golden blades on her fingertips. She carefully dismantles the wooden box and there is a gap at the bottom. Is it a mezzanine? Lin Luoran's heart is pounding and she is very nervous. She doesn't know what is in the mezzanine. She calms down a little and is about to remove the plank when she hears something outside the space. Someone is knocking on the door. Lin Luoran takes a deep breath, puts the box on the table and flashes out of the space. It turns out that Colin is knocking on the door. Miss, the female pirate Windsor contacted the Edward again and asked if we have decided to go the same way. Will says. When Colin is working seriously, he can at least make most butlers lose their jobs. He calls Lin Luoran Miss very smoothly. Lin Luoran thinks for a while and asks Xiaoji if it knows the route to the Nami star. With the flight permit, you are allowed to enter the channel network. There are several routes to the Nami star. Which one do you want to choose, sister? I'll take the fastest one. Colin told Windsor that if she could accept it, she could go with us on the waterway. Will. Colin nods and replies. There is no reason to guard against pirates day and night. Even if the Edward goes alone, there is a risk of encountering pirates. Whether Windsor has bad intentions or not, only time will tell. Strength is respected. Lin Luoran is confident that she can control the group of interstellar pirates the moment she finds the danger. It is time to test the beautiful pirate leader. Lin Luoran hopes that she will not be disappointed. Lin Luoran deals with some trivial things on the way. When she enters the space again, she is much calmer. Even so, Lin Luoran is still stunned when she opens the interlayer and reveals the yellowed book hidden at the bottom of the box. She is so familiar with this thing. It is bound with cotton thread and has a blue cover. Except that it is hidden at the bottom of the wooden box, it is exactly the same as the incomplete medicine book passed down in her family. The blue cover shows that this is the second half of the medicine book. Lin Luoran takes out the medicine book that she has been keeping and compares it. Sure enough, the missing half of the medicine book passed down in the Lin family is found by her in a small grocery store on the N2 planet. The intimacy that makes her stop involuntarily is because of this nameless medicine book related to the ancestors of the Lin family. She remembers that it was lost many generations ago. How did it come to the distant stars? Lin Luoran remembers that when she was a child, her father relied on the incomplete first half of the medicine book to identify medicinal materials. He also relied on the Chinese herbal medicine in the back mountain of the Li's village to save some money for her to go to school. Every time Lin Luoran pays the tuition fee with the small change in her hand, she secretly swears that she will make a lot of money when she grows up so that her parents will not suffer anymore. When she is sick, it is her father who decocts medicine according to the prescription in the book. Lin Luoran suddenly remembers that when she was a child, she was actually in poor health. She was thin and short. Every time her father went to the deep mountains to find medicine for her health, her mother would kill a chicken and stew it with medicine for her. The higher her personal ability is, the clearer her childhood memory is after returning from Penglai. She remembers how hard her parents raised her. She didn't realize it when she was a child. Now that her family is missing, she can't forget it even if she wants to. Because the prescription in the medicine book can regulate her health. She remembers her father sighing several times that it would be great if he could find the second half of the medicine book. Father, I have found the second half of the medicine book. Do you know that? Farther than the distant stars, limited by the so-called rules of heaven and earth, where is my family? Looking at the combined medicine book, Lin Luoran can't help crying. Tears fall on the blue cover of the book, making it glow. Lin Luoran's eyes are blurred with tears. She doesn't notice that the two halves of the medicine book are combined again because of the light. The cotton thread binding the book disappears, as if they have never been separated. Time and space go back. This is a complete ancient book with blue cover. Why are you crying? The voice has matured a lot, with the sweetness of childhood. Lin Luoran wipes away her tears and looks at the girl sitting by the bed. She is about 13 or 14 years old. Her eyes are big and bright. Her hair is combed into a bun and the ribbon is fluttering. It seems that she doesn't know what sadness is and makes people forget it. Her cheeks are much thinner with baby fat, which makes her nose straighter and eyes bigger. Lin Luoran is a little uncertain. You are, Momo. It doesn't matter that she is taller. Based on her facial features and voice, it is obviously Momo, the girl Lin Luoran met once after bearing essence. Lin Luoran doesn't expect to see Momo again at this time. Momo is still a girl. Chapter 451. Momo, how come you've grown up? Compared with Lin Luoran's surprise, the girl Momo seems to be confused as if they have never seen her before. Why did you cry just now? Momo doesn't know what's going on, so she doesn't dwell on it. Instead, she asks why Lin Luoran is crying. It's strange for a grown-up to cry. Momo subconsciously doesn't want her to cry. She can also feel the girl's pain. Lin Luoran feels strange about the girl's reaction. She wipes her tears and hesitates for a moment. However, she is defeated by the girl's clean eyes. Her eyes, which were even more translucent than crystals, made people have the desire to talk. Maybe it's because she has been depressed for a long time. After returning from Penglai, she faced the drastic change of her home, the pain and despair of falling from the highest place, and the longing deepens as time goes by. People around her all regard her as a pillar. It's the first time for her to talk about the anxiety in her heart. Momo listens attentively. Lin Luoran doesn't get comfort from the girl. Momo looks around and sees the strange but comfortable big bed. She takes a different approach and tells her a story. Once upon a time, there was a village called Sang. On the left was the tall Mount Qinghuan, where beautiful and gentle Qinghuan lived. On the right was the rolling hills. There were delicious wild vegetables in spring, berries in summer, and wild fruits everywhere in autumn. In winter, you could catch hares hiding in caves. Momo whispers and looks out of the window. Looking out of the room, she sees the herb garden and the spirit field. The fruits in the space remind her of the peach village called Sang. Lin Luoran can empathize with Momo's words. The village called Sang in Momo's mouth is like a paradise. The rolling mountains are so beautiful. In addition to exotic flowers and plants, there are also many monsters and monsters. In winter, the animals hide and the monsters attack people who enter the mountains. Every winter, people in the village die in the deep mountains. On the Mount Qinghuan on the left, there are immortals in white who often help the villagers. Seeing that there are always casualties when people go hunting in the deep mountains in winter, they also teach the nearby tribes to plant chestnuts. The land of Sang village is fertile and the annual harvest is better than that of the nearby villages. People don't need to go to the mountains in winter, so the casualties are reduced a lot. Children in Sang village dream of going to Mount Qinghuan to learn arts of nature to protect the villagers. One year, it snowed heavily, and a little girl was born in the village. Her parents had a daughter in their old age, and they doted on her very much. Although they had chestnuts and rice, food was always scarce in winter. Her father was so happy that he went hunting in the mountains in the snow to nourish his wife and daughter. His wife carried her daughter and watched him go into the mountains. It snowed heavily that day. She waited until the sky turned dark and then bright again, but he still didn't come back. His wife was sad every day, and within a few years, she also left her only daughter behind. From then on, the little girl who was born on that snowy day became an orphan. She was 6 years old that year and was shorter than other girls of her age. Lin Luoran holds Momo's hand. The girl's palm is cold. The little girl who lost her parents when she was a child, was she by? Lin remembers that when she was studying at the University of Chuan, she used to memorize the Kangxi dictionary. Oh, does that mean lowly orphan girl? Momo laughs. Do you think the orphan girl is very pitiful after hearing this? Lin Luoran doesn't know whether she should shake her head or nod. Fortunately, the girl doesn't care. She smiles and shakes her head. You are wrong. People in the Mulberry village think she is very lucky. The child who lost her parents fainted at the foot of Mount Qinghuan because she didn't have enough to eat. She was saved by the Immortals on the top of the mountain. She became the youngest disciple of Mount Qinghuan. There are more than 300 people on Mount Qinghuan. She is the youngest, and all the brothers like her very much. Today, someone will pick fruits for her, and tomorrow, someone will take her to the sky to see cranes. In less than 2 months, the little girl has gained weight, and her face is as round as an orange. The white-bearded master says that when she is 8 years old, he will teach her to do breathing. It turns out that the brothers and sisters on Mount Qinghuan, including the master, are all called Qi trainers. They are not immortals as the villagers think. The master says that she can only cultivate when she is 8 years old. The little girl is counting the days every day. When will she be 8 years old? She pestered her senior brothers to ask questions, but every senior brother surrendered when he saw her. The little girl always giggled when she saw this. She gradually couldn't remember her childhood experiences clearly. In just a few months, she felt that she had become the happiest little girl. It's a pity. It's easy to get things, but it's easy to lose them. Momo, stop. Lin Luoran sympathizes with her and signals Momo to stop talking. The young girl, Swan and I, turned her head slightly. When she smiled, it was so sweet that it could melt a person's heart. Then one day, an enemy came. Master died, and she and her fellow apprentices were all captured. There were more than 300 people in Green Phoenix Mountain. That enemy's methods were vicious. She killed one person every day to torture her uncompromising eldest apprentice brother. On the last day, only the Qi trainers of Mount Qinghuan and the big brother were dead. The devil threatened the big brother with her life. The little girl remembers that I went to the mountain on a snowy day and never came back. She was stubborn and didn't compromise. The devil turned against her and wanted to tear her alive. At first, Lin Luoran tells Momo not to talk about it. However, hearing that Momo's life was in danger, she can't help asking, what happened later? How did the little girl get out of danger? Feeling the concern in her tone, Momo pulls her hand out of Lin Luoran's. Later on, a person suddenly descended from the sky and saved the little girl and her senior apprentice brother. That demon's actions were ruthless and vicious. Angering him, not only did he implicate the demon's clansmen, even his descendants were implicated. Lin Luoran has an intuition that he who saved Momo is the man in robe. What about Momo whom she has met now? Momo, why are you telling me this? The girl shakes her head. I don't know. Just like you are willing to talk to me, I have never told these words to anyone. It's very strange that I want to tell you. Is it strange? Maybe. Lin Luoran is more willing to believe that the reason why the girl tells the past is that she doesn't know how to comfort her. Maybe she wants to tell her sorrow together and encourage her. Momo's smile is like a delicious pastry, so sweet that it almost melts. If she doesn't tell, no one will know that this is a girl who lost her parents when she was a child and witnessed the tragedy of her family. Compared with her, her parents doted on her very much when she was a child. They are just separated and there is still a chance for them to reunite. There is nothing to be sad about. Momo is happy to see that she is not sad anymore. She looks around the room. I seem to have seen you somewhere. By the way, where is this place? Lin Luoran is stunned. Momo is the former owner of this sacred pearl space. How can she not know her? Looking at the girl's sincere expression, an idea flashes through her mind. Wait, Lin Luoran compares her words and deeds and has a bold guess. Momo, have you really never seen me? Momo shakes her head. Lin Luoran frowns. Perhaps there is only one bold assumption. She looks at the ancient blue book on the table. There are really two heirlooms in the Lin family. One is the magical sacred pearl space. When the former owner left, she left her spiritual mind in the form of a child. When she reaches the level of bearing essence, she breaks the inhibition of the wooden house and can see her. The other heirloom of the Lin family is the nameless medicine book. The girl Momo in front of her is not a real person. Is she just a silhouette of time because of the medicine book? No wonder the Momo she met after bearing essence could speak flawlessly even though she looked like a child. She left many mysteries for Lin Luoran. At this time, Momo is only 13 or 14 years old. She has the mind of a real girl. Seeing that Lin Luoran is sad, she tells her past to comfort her. Are you hiding in the medicine book? Momo is very curious about the furnishings in the room. If Lin Luoran, the owner, hadn't allowed her, she would have gone outside. Hearing Lin Luoran's question, she wonders, what medicine book? Following Lin Luoran's sight, Momo is very surprised. This is not a medicine book. Why do you think it is a medicine book? He will laugh to death if he hears it. Lin Luoran is sure that the he Momo is talking about is the mysterious man in robe. However, if it is not a medicine book, what is the ancient blue book? Momo laughs, it is the Tao. Don't you know how to read? There is no word on the smooth cover of the book. There is no Tao. Lin Luoran doesn't want to argue with the little girl. Momo draws a golden pattern that she is very familiar with in the air. In Lin Luoran's astonishment, the pattern disappears into the ancient blue book. Two gilded characters appear on the cover of the book. They are characters that Lin Luoran has never seen before. The title of the book, Tao. The breath of the ancient times is emitted from the gilded characters. A strong impulse lures Lin Luoran to read the ancient book which has been covered for many years and now reveals its true face. Open it. Open it. Just take a look. The nameless medicine book passed down by the ancestors of the Lin family was found by her in the distant galaxy. The ancient book named The Great Way. Does it really record ordinary prescriptions and herbs? Lin Luoran hesitates and wants to ask Momo for advice. However, when she turns around, the door is closed and the girl named Momo is gone. Chapter 452. The ancient book with a blue cover is gilded with ancient atmosphere. Where was the girl named Lao Ai, who was talking sincerely like a dream? Lin Luoran hesitates to step forward. The simple atmosphere of the ancient book proves what happened just now. The gilded words that suddenly appear show that Lin Luoran is not hallucinating. The second half of the nameless medicine book of her family was found in a grocery store on the N2 planet. The two parts are combined into one. Momo appears, but the intact nameless medicine book has a name, the Tao. Lin Luoran doesn't think that the ancient book will still be a simple medicine book after it takes off its disguise and reveals its true identity. After all, its title was extremely arrogant, and it was called the Grand Tao. Cultivation is also commonly known as cultivation. In addition to breathing and training qi, cultivators draw reiki of the 5 elements from heaven and earth to refine their bodies in order to prolong their lifespan. Therefore, cultivation itself is a process of cultivating one's true self and getting rid of the false and retaining the true. There is a saying in the ancient Taoism of Huaxia that the final state of cultivation is the Tao of Heaven, so it is called the Tao of Heaven. Everything in the world, including the eternal universe, is born and dies. It is the ubiquitous law. People can't escape from the Tao of Heaven. This book is really arrogant. The room is quiet. Lin Luoran finally can't help but want to read it out of curiosity. The thin cover seems to weigh thousands of pounds. When she turns it, the cover remains still. The Tao, can't move at all, as if it is glued to the table. Lin Luoran was curious at first, but now she wants to compete with it. The Tao book is still intact. Lin Luoran thinks for a while and tries to input Wakan into the ancient blue book, like a whale swallowing water. Lin Luoran opens her mouth and Reiki rushes in freely. Lin Luoran's face turns pale at once. The 4 golden elixirs in her pubic region are running at a high speed. In the late bearing essence period, there is a lot of thick Reiki in her meridians. At this moment, they are all sucked up by the Tao book. Lin Luoran can't get rid of it. After a while, she feels that her meridians are burning and dry. The golden elixirs are running faster. For a moment, Lin Luoran is even afraid that they will crack under the high-speed rotation. After all, it is more difficult to recondense the golden elixir than to bear the essence. Many cultivators can never advance again after their realm falls because of similar serious injuries. Even if Lin Luoran has space, she can't guarantee that she can bear the essence after her golden elixir is broken. After all, she has 4 golden elixirs in her body. The process of bearing essence is 4 times more difficult than that of ordinary cultivators. If she is seriously injured, her Taoist root may be damaged. Lin Luoran's forehead is full of sweat, and her clothes are all wet. She smiles bitterly. She thought it was a cultivation book, but it turned out to be a fatal thing. When the Wakan in her body is about to disappear, Lin thinks that she will hear the sound of the golden elixir breaking. However, the blue cover of the Tao suddenly lightens and is easily lifted by Lin. Lin Luoran can't stand up anymore. She falls on the chair and gasps for breath. Wakan is indeed the most precious thing for a cultivator. Lin Luoran is deeply touched. She stares at the pages of the book that she has opened after so many hardships, that one look almost angered her to death. She is so angry that she can't help but laugh. The Great Way, which required all the spiritual aura of a late-stage core formation cultivator to be opened, was snow-white and clean. Not only was there no Taoist scripture on it, even the prescription from before was gone. It was a wordless heavenly book without even a blob of ink on the first page. Lin Luoran tries to turn to the second page. Just like the cover, it is firmly stuck by strong glue, which makes her feel frustrated. Even if she wants to open it, she has no Reiki to support the book. Lin Luoran thinks the ancient book is strange. She decides to put the wordless book aside and go back to the grocery store before leaving the N2 planet. As soon as she stands up, she feels dizzy and falls on the table. She falls asleep on the blue book, the Tao, as her pillow. After a flash of golden light, a small black spot appears on the white page. In a blink of an eye, it spreads like an ink painting. It is like the changing clouds in the sky, which is breathtaking. Lin Luoran, who is in a coma, is not found. Her room suddenly bursts with golden light. The fire phoenix jumps out of the room with a happy face. However, as time goes by, the door of the room on the second floor of the cabin has never been opened. The joy on the fire phoenix's face turns into worry. It can't help but want to break in several times, but it holds itself back. What is she doing hiding in there for so long? Wood Wolf comes forward shamelessly. Fire Phoenix is in a bad mood and beats it. It hides in the corner and looks like it is about to cry, which makes Fire Phoenix feel a little better. It really can't bear to see the silly look of Wood Wolf. Every time there is a change in the space or Lin Luoran's advancement, only the Phoenix Emperor, who knows a little inside information, is worried about it. It can't bear to blame the silver fish. It knows that the Fire Phoenix is angry when it sees Wood Wolf's idle and stupid face. Is it the so-called menopause of the human race? Fire Phoenix is very depressed. It counts with its fingers and it has forgotten how old it is this year. However, it seems that the Tao has appeared. It doesn't know when that person will come to see the little Linny. Fire Phoenix buries its head under its wings. It has never understood that person's thoughts. It is really frustrating. No, it really frustrates the phoenix. Fire Phoenix is in a perturbed mood. It keeps pacing outside the room, but Lin Luoran doesn't know it at all. The Wakan in her body is exhausted and she is extremely tired. She lies on the table with the Tao as her pillow and sleeps very soundly. After a long time, she suddenly hears someone talking. It is a chirping female voice, sweet and crisp, like a chickadee playing on her fingers. She woke up with a start and found herself lying on a big rock. The lake breeze was gentle, and the sun was warm. 10 meters in front of her, closer to the lake shore, there was a table. The white paper on it fluttered in the wind. The one who spoke was 7 or 8 years old. Momo. She is wearing a very beautiful dress with her hair combed into a bun. When she smiles, her big eyes can be curved into crescent moons. When she bounces, her skirt faintly flows. She really looks like the little girl sitting under the seat of Guanyin in the Spring Festival painting when she was a child. Momo's previous words are obviously to the people around her. The ordinary robe is so ordinary that it seems to be covered with a layer of mist and will be drowned in the crowd at any time. It is the man in robe. Lin Luoran can still be calm when she sees Momo. After all, she has seen Momo twice and she is mentally prepared. However, when she sees the man in robe, Lin Luoran is so shocked that she almost falls off the big rock. She makes some noise, but the two people on the lake shore don't seem to see her. These words are so difficult. I don't want to learn anymore. Let's go to see the deer, shall we? Momo raises her face and acts like a spoiled child. Lin Luoran doesn't know that Momo, who has a cunning look, has such a side. She thinks that the man in robe will not agree, but he nods. In the dusk, his face is covered by the water vapor by the lake and it is blurred. Just like the beautiful lake and mountains, only the freehand brushwork of a traditional painting remains. People can't remember his exact appearance. Hold me, hold me. Momo pulls the sleeve of the man in robe and acts like a spoiled child. The indifferent man makes Lin Luoran think that he will not respond to her. However, unexpectedly, he does bend down and picks up Momo. Not far away, at the junction of grass and bushes, there are 2 elks. They open their mouths and roll away a few tender leaves. The man in robe walks over with Momo in his arms. The fawns run to him on their own initiative. Momo jumps down from the arms of the man in robe and giggles while holding the elk's neck. The man in robe looks down at her. The wind blows up his robe and hair. A few steps away, there is clear lake water. The sparkling lake is dyed golden by the setting sun. The grass is over her knees, Momo is holding the elk's neck, and the man in robe is quietly waiting for her to play. Lin Luoran is like a bystander who accidentally peeks at someone else's happy moment. She is absent-minded for a long time. This is like a dream. The birds in the deep forest are so real. The voice of the little girl and the figure of the man in robe. How can she dream of such a moment? No, this is not a dream. It must be the blue book, Tao. Lin Luoran looks at the desk by the lake. Momo is chasing the elk further and further away. The man in robe is slowly following behind her. The lake is quiet and she is the only one left. Practicing calligraphy. Before she woke up, they were practicing calligraphy. Lin Luoran can't help but move her feet to the lake little by little. What is blown up by the wind is indeed a stack of written copybooks. Lin Luoran identifies them for a long time. She has never seen the words on the cover of the book, Tao. Although the handwriting is not smooth and it is described by a beginner, Lin Luoran can still feel what kind of power of heaven and earth is contained in the words. Lin Luoran grits her teeth and wants to turn over the copybooks. However, she finds that her hand passes through the table and she grabs nothing. When she reached the edge of the lake, she stopped abruptly and almost fell into the water. Chapter 453. Lin Luoran sees the man in robe walking over with Momo in his arms. However, she still hasn't seen the handwriting below. Although neither of them saw her just now, she doesn't dare to take risks. Last time in her dream, she peeped at the man in robe writing golden word figures in the air. Lin Luoran will never forget the look in the man's eyes when he turns his head and looks at her. Lin Luoran shivers because of the warning deep in her soul. Finally, she decides to stay away from the trouble. She is ready to run back to the big stone. However, the man in robe comes so fast with Momo in his arms. He only takes one step and appears by the lake. Lin Luoran feels a chill on her back. She is frozen and can't move for a while. Lin Luoran has no time to think whether it is shrinking ground into inches or other spells. The man in robe passes through her body and comes to the table with Momo in his arms. The wind on the lake is gentle. Lin Luoran is stunned. She doesn't feel any pain or discomfort. They actually pass through her body. It turns out that not only they can't see her, but they also don't belong to this place. Therefore, she doesn't exist in this beautiful lake, mountain, and world of birds and cicadas. Lin Luoran is very anxious. If she doesn't come here with her real body, how can she go back? She suddenly remembers the stone tablet in the Kalahari desert as a cage. The word figure, the golden word figure, has great power. It seems to be able to break some kind of imprisonment. Wait, the word figure is similar to the one she once saved Baojia, but it is not the same. Lin Luoran thinks that maybe these words have their own meanings and have different effects. Just like the figure of Qingqing Taoist temple, the 5 elements are clearly divided. Momo once said that the man in robe doesn't ask her to learn other words. Is it because the man in robe only cares about this kind of words that can communicate with heaven and earth? It is said that when Sangjie made the characters, he thought about it day and night and observed everywhere. He saw the distribution of stars in the sky, the appearance of mountains and rivers on the ground, the traces of birds, beasts, insects and fish, and the shape of vegetation and utensils. He drew and made all kinds of different symbols and determined the meaning of each symbol. He showed it to others and explained it to them. On the day when the characters were made, it rained corn in the daytime and ghosts howled at night. Hundreds of ghosts wailed. Some people said that it was because of the emergence of writing that the people became more intelligent and less virtuous. Deceit led to fights and killings. From then on, there would be no more days of peace in the world. Even ghosts were not at peace, which was why they wailed incessantly. Apart from the addition and deletion of the myths over the years, there was one thing that was still very credible. In the beginning, the Chinese characters were born from all living things in the world. However, as time passed, the characters were changed by people. Although they became more and more standardized, the feeling of comprehending the world in the past also disappeared. There was a spell in the language that could communicate. Words had souls. They could sense everything in the world and record the essence of their predecessors. Lin Luoran is thrilled. She once wrote the golden word figure in her ignorance, which attracted Reiki from 100 miles away. She had also been trapped in the world of the stone tablet. She had relied on the imitation of the golden characters to successfully return her divine consciousness to her body. And the root of all this, the man in the robe who understood the golden runes, was now teaching Tao Wu this rune which might be the origin of words. Lin Luoran's heart beats fast. They can't see her. If she wanted to, could she also hide at the side and learn this rune? Lin Luoran can't control her footsteps. She runs to the side and looks at Tao Wu. Sure enough, the man in the robe doesn't notice her. Lin Luoran goes forward and finds Tao Wu is writing a big character with a sandbag tied to her wrist. Before she finishes writing, Lin Luoran can feel the waves of water ripples coming to her face. She is suddenly enlightened. There must be a reason why the two of them are practicing calligraphy by the lake. The lines are full of water vapor. Is she writing water or lake? The waves of water are getting stronger and stronger. Tao Wu smiles happily. She tilts her head as if she wants to show off to the man in the robe. However, her wrist stops in the air and the pen loses its edge. The rune has been destroyed. The water vapor disperses. Tao Wu flattens her mouth and wants to cry. However, the man in the robe doesn't comfort her. You are talented, but you can't calm down. You haven't learned 5 characters in 2 years. What's there to be proud of? The man in the robe shakes his head gently. Although he is reprimanding, his voice is plain. However, it is like a breeze blowing over the lake, a mountain spring stirring stones, or a drifting cloud in the sky. It sounds amiable, but people can't figure out where it comes from. This is the first time that Lin Luoran has heard the man in the robe speak. Her heart is mixed with many emotions that don't seem to belong to her. Lin Luoran takes a closer look. Although the face of the man in the robe seems to be covered by mist, he has a pair of dark eyes. There are too many contents in his eyes. The rising and falling of the sun, the changing of the stars. Lin Luoran has never seen anyone with such a complicated pair of eyes. Experience. There is a huge gap between her and the man in the robe. For example, he can even reprimand Tao Wu in a gentle way. Maybe it is not because he is born like this, but because he has witnessed so many changes that he is indifferent to everything that happens around him. Lin Luoran can't figure out why such a man in robe would save Momo in the first place. This man in robe is obviously indifferent to external things. To put it bluntly, the only one he really accepts is himself. Lin Luoran remembers that when she met Tao Wu for the first time, the little girl said to herself with tears before disappearing, "Lin Luoran. It's really a better name than Tao Wu. Does he like such a name?" Tao Wu even asked her to take care of the man in the robe. Thinking of Tao Wu's vague words and the fact that the man in the robe saved her in a desperate situation, Lin Luoran can easily see the attachment in Tao Wu's tone. Tao Wu is probably deeply involved in love. However, even if Tao Wu left the sacred pearl to her for some reason, she will not fulfill Tao Wu's wish out of gratitude. On the one hand, this man doesn't need anyone to take care of him. On the other hand, he is actually a cold and heartless person. Tao Wu's infatuation may have been wasted long ago. Lin Luoran takes back her thoughts. Tao Wu and the man in the robe have already disappeared. It's getting dark. The table is still by the lake. Tao Wu hasn't mastered the calligraphy yet. She will come again tomorrow, right? Lin Luoran comforts herself. She holds her knees and sits on the big stone all night. Lin Luoran is relieved until Tao Wu jumps into the morning light again. Tao Wu is still writing the same calligraphy as yesterday. Lin Luoran observes for a long time. She remembers the calligraphy firmly in her heart from the starting point to the turning point. When Tao Wu is practicing calligraphy, Lin Luoran also follows her. At first, she was thinking about going back, but now she gradually calms down. Maybe it's because of her completely different temperament from Tao Wu. Lin Luoran can feel that she has caught up with Tao Wu and she has mastered this unknown character well. Tao Wu comes alone for several days in a row. Without the man in the robe around, she neither acts coquettishly to look at the deer nor complains that practicing calligraphy is hard. She calms down and practices hard. The characters she writes are rippling intensely. It feels like they are going to jump out of her fingertips and turn into rain. Lin Luoran can't influence the plants in this world. She can only copy according to her memory and feelings. She can't judge how much she has learned. After practicing for a few days, Lin Luoran can feel Tao Wu's progress. The little girl is not very satisfied. Finally, she comes to the lake again with the man in the robe. "I'll just read it once. Can I read it again?" Tao Wu wants to see the original characters written by the man in the robe. Lin Luoran is also very strange. How can she practice calligraphy? She can't even see the original copybook. Can she just write in front of the lake all day long? The man in the robe can't resist her. He waves his hand at the clear lake. The sparkling lake disappears. A piece of white paper flies back to the man in the robe's hand. The original lakeside is just a low-lying green. Lin Luoran pinches herself. Such a large lakeside. She has never doubted that it is actually a copybook. There is a reason why Tao Wu has been practicing calligraphy in front of the lake these days. In addition to figuring out the spirituality of the lake, it turns out that the copybook the man in the robe gave her is about this lake. Life was really too deceitful, it made people unable to hold back their tears. Although Lin Luoran is crying, she still goes forward shamelessly. She keeps the original characters written by the man in the robe in her mind. She can't wait to swallow the paper and pack it up. You write more and more like a lake. Soon you can practice the next character. The man in the robe looks at the results of Tao Wu's practice these days and gives her affirmation. Tao Wu holds the original version written by him. She is not very energetic. I feel that there is still a long way to go. It is not like what you wrote at all. The man in the robe laughs. Without enough personal ability, you can't support the characters. You haven't even reached the level of laying foundation. Don't worry. Tao Wu is really happy now. Lin Luoran watches the interaction between the two. She remembers the time when she peeped at the golden figure written by the man in the robe. She doesn't know what character it is. Tao Wu can practice the character, lake, before she reaches the level of laying foundation. Lin Luoran was not in the level of laying foundation at that time, but she got a headache even when she tried secretly. Tao Wu is right. The characters taught by the man in the robe are enough for her to travel around the world. She doesn't need to care about anything else, at least the characters written by the man in the robe have the power to shake the world. Chapter 454. Probably because of the huge difference in personal ability, the characters written by Momo can only turn into small puddles in the end. It is far from the sparkling lake where fish and shrimps are jumping. The little girl has to work hard secretly. Lin Luoran agrees with her efforts. However, it is obvious that her personal ability is not high enough, but she still wants better results. Lin Luoran has a vague feeling that something bad will happen. Sure enough, one evening, Momo sneaks out to practice calligraphy. The word lake she writes almost jumps out of the paper. It feels like the lake written by the man in robe. Lin Luoran watches the characters on the white paper come to life. The ink marks fade away and water drops come out. The sound of gurgling water is heard. Momo is happy at first, but she seems to be drained by something. She coughs up a mouthful of dark red blood and falls to the ground. Lin Luoran is very anxious. She wants to pull Momo, but her hand passes through her body. She can't touch Momo at all. What should she do? Looking at Momo frowning and moaning in a low voice, Lin Luoran can feel how much pain she is in. She wants to find the man in robe, but there is an endless forest in front of her. Taking a step back, even if she did find him, what could she do? Lin Luoran watches Momo struggling on the grass. For the first time, she feels the cruelty of the law of time. She was now invisible. She probably peeped at everything that happened thousands of years ago with the power of the Tao book, right? It is not the Tower of Babel. What she sees is just like a movie shot by modern technology with light and shadow technology. She is always just a bystander. However, what she has experienced is far more immersive than the so-called 3D movies before the new era. Even so, the Momo and the man in robe she sees are no longer in real life. The moon rises slowly, and Momo faints because of the pain. She sees the clear moonlight thousands of years ago. However, in real life, the moon has long been covered with cold alloys. Lin Luoran stays with Momo all night. It is not until the next day that the man in robe comes to the lake and takes her back. Close at hand, she heard the soft sigh of the man in the robe as he lifted her up. Lin Luoran feels that the sigh contains many meanings. She even suspects that the sigh is directed at her. When she turns around, she can see the back of the man in robe who is holding Momo in his arms and leaving slowly. It will be a mystery in Lin Luoran's life for many years to come. Momo was injured because of her recklessness, so she didn't come to the lake to practice calligraphy for a long time. Lin Luoran is trapped within a radius of hundreds of feet from the awakened stone. She can only stay in this lake and can't even go to the forest in the distance. She didn't feel thirsty, she didn't feel hungry, and she didn't know fatigue. Other than practicing calligraphy, if she was bored, she would count the ants on the ground for fun. Anyway, the ants couldn't see her, so they wouldn't run away in fear. She often stared at the lake in bewilderment. The longer she stared at it, the more she felt that the golden symbols were different from the others. It was very easy to create a lake. Even a foundation establishment cultivator could use water spells to create a lake in a low-lying area. However, a real lake also contained fish, shrimps, crabs, shellfish, aquatic plants, plankton. This kind of creativity couldn't be achieved by spells of the 5 elements. If the power that could be used in the path of personal ability enhancement was divided into levels, they should be spells, arts of nature, holy spells and immortal arts. Immortals are the real free branch in the world. Gods also have their own responsibilities. Immortal arts should be above holy spells. Like the ancestor of the monsters of wood, she turned young Lisha into the size of a petal and carried her with her. It was similar to the art of world in the sleeve. The substitution of peach and zombie that Wood Wolf once used is also arts of nature. Arts of nature are of a higher level than spells, but they can't achieve the effect in front of her. Holy spells. The power of faith is indeed magical. It can even reshape the Taoist root for mortals. However, those powers are born from the faith of mortals. Although they are magical, they are inevitably limited. What about the immortal arts? Lin Luoran has only seen a short time, so she doesn't dare to make a judgment. The golden word figure is completely different from them. It can create a lake with a complete ecosystem out of thin air. This is the power of the god of creation in Western mythology, or should it be said that it belongs to the power of the law of the universe? Does it borrow the power of the law? Or has it already surpassed the law? Remembering that the man in robe said that Momo's personal ability was not enough to write a real lake, Lin Luoran feels that it should be closer to the former. This kind of golden word figure can't be used endlessly at will. Momo is also cultivating. Does she have to rely on her own personal ability as a guide to communicate with the law of heaven and earth and make words move at will? What about the man in robe? His personal ability should be enough. In her dream, the word figure he wrote stirred up the wind and clouds. Lin Luoran doesn't know what his personal ability is. In such a quiet environment, Lin Luoran can calm down. She puts together the doubts she has encountered since the beginning of personal ability enhancement and the scattered knowledge she has learned. The bottlenecks she felt in the past are always clear after she breaks through a few levels of personal ability enhancement. After mastering the basic knowledge, she can also confirm it with the new realm. Lin Luoran feels that she has benefited a lot in other areas besides learning words. This kind of ethereal state is really suitable for making elixirs, setting up magic circles, or even refining weapons. Unfortunately, she doesn't have the jade stairs, so she can't make elixirs or weapons. Fortunately, the grass is soft enough for her to lie on her back. The sky by the lake is also wide enough for stars to accompany her every night. Except for tonight. Tonight, the night sky is not as brilliant as a few days ago. All the stars are gone, leaving only the moon like a big disk. It is so bright that it almost touches the water. It is so close that it seems that she can reach out and touch it. Lin Luoran doesn't expect to see Momo, whom she hasn't seen for a long time, tonight. The man in robe takes her to the lake. Momo seems to be in good spirits. She is jumping and her colorful skirt is shining in the moonlight. It turns out to be a more beautiful skirt at night. Of course, I can't miss this once in 60 years. The man in robe stands motionless on the grass. The night hides some of his coldness. Momo is very excited tonight. She doesn't know what she wants to see. The moonlight is so beautiful. The phrase, 60 years, sounds familiar to Lin Luoran. While she is still recalling, the moon on the disc has changed. The moonlight seems to be cut into pieces and sprinkles down. It has a pink luster like a semi-solidified mist. Lin Luoran sees that the quiet forest is boiling. Many animals that were lying in ambush before. Oh, they can fly. They are monsters. Those monsters are either flying or jumping. They are all scrambling to grab the moonlight fragments. What moonlight fragments? It is Diliu syrup. Lin Luoran suddenly stands up. Diliu syrup, which only appears once in 60 years, falls with the moonlight. It is the key for monsters to transform and the spirits of plants to develop intelligence. Lin Luoran hasn't seen Diliu syrup since the Earth's Reiki is strangely weakened. She doesn't expect that she can see it here. Lin Luoran feels very sorry. This is just a scene recorded in history. She can't take some back, she really wants to see what Cyan Little Fox looks like after it transforms. Momo is also very sorry, the next time we meet will be 60 years later. I will be an old woman. Can we leave some Diliu syrup? Of course. Lin Luoran has never seen the man in robe refuse her request. It is said that Diliu syrup can't be preserved by anything. Lin Luoran is looking forward to seeing the man in robe do it. The man in robe waves his hand and many pink moonlight fragments fly to him. They turn into a necklace of pink beads in his hand, which has a luster even brighter than pearls. He hands it to Momo. Sure enough, in the face of absolute strength, rules are broken by people. Other people can easily confine Diliu syrup without any external preservation. This is the gap between them. Diliu syrup falls for a short while. Momo leaves contentedly. Lin Luoran has a hunch that she will see the little girl practicing calligraphy tomorrow. Lin Luoran rarely falls asleep tonight. When she wakes up the next day, she is still on the big stone. However, the surrounding scene has changed. She is in the middle of mountains. What the man in robe teaches today is not the word mountain. It makes sense. The word lake is too complicated and Momo was injured. The man in robe has to start from the simple one. Lin Luoran learns the 8 words of wind, rain, thunder, lightning, ice, frost, snow, and fire. These words all have great power. However, Lin Luoran feels that their structure is simple. In fact, they are much simpler than the inclusive word lake. After a long time, Momo's body has grown a lot taller. She looks like 13 or 14 years old when Lin Luoran saw her for the second time. The man in robe finally teaches her the word mountain. In the past few years, Momo's personal ability has been greatly improved. She has the personal ability of the late-bearing essence. Lin Luoran is surprised by the coincidence, but she also learns the new words happily. The word mountain can't be written well by Momo. Her handwriting is soft and weak. Lin Luoran, a bystander, feels that it looks like a mound rather than a mountain. Sure enough, Momo makes no progress for a long time. She is so anxious that she almost cries. The man in robe has no choice but to say to her, "You have to see the essence of the mountain. You have to see the essence of the mountain." Lin Luoran feels that some invisible fog disperses. She seems to hear some kind of enlightening voice. Chapter 455. You have to see the essence of the mountain. Cultivation is to get rid of the false and retain the true. Without the guidance of a master, Lin Luoran has reached the late-bearing essence with the nameless breathing and training chi spell. The fog hovering in her mind is pushed away and she has never been so clear. Lin Luoran's mind is clear. When she opens her eyes again, she has woken up. The first page of the blue Tao is opened. It still looks like a wordless book. Lin Luoran doesn't know how long she has been sleeping on the page. Is that shiny thing her saliva? With a blush on her face, Lin Luoran looks refreshed. Her previous tiredness has been swept away. She also has valuable knowledge in her mind, which makes her feel good when she looks at everything. Or is it because she has a different outlook that every cup and chair is unique and spiritual? Lin Luoran knows her current state. As long as there is a suitable opportunity, she can even easily push the door of the gathering vitality period. This is a kind of understanding of her own strength and also a kind of confidence in the path of personal ability enhancement. To be more precise, it is a broadening of vision. The gathering vitality period that cultivators yearn for in the end of the world of cultivation is actually just a threshold of personal ability enhancement. She used to care about gains and losses very much. However, in her dream, the gathering vitality period is really a very small existence for the man in robe. Where do immortals come from? What is above immortals? Since cultivators can become immortals through personal ability enhancement, then the man in robe is not so powerful at the beginning, right? The road of personal ability enhancement is long, and people also walk it. Lin Luoran really wants to do closed-door training immediately and come out after the gathering vitality is broken. However, she has experienced a few years in the dream and she doesn't know how much time has passed in the real world. She still needs to go out of the space to reassure others. As soon as she opens the door, a ball of heat hits her. Fire Phoenix rushes to her, tearfully, "Linny, you finally come out. We have been bullied to death. This kind of welcome is too unique. Besides, who can bully Fire Phoenix in the space?" Lin Luoran only thinks Fire Phoenix is joking. However, she sees Silver Fish and Wood Wolf downstairs. Even White Fairy looks like they have the same enemy. Lin Luoran finally realizes the truth of Fire Phoenix's words. Is it a big deal? The space is in perfect condition. All kinds of plants are thriving, and agricultural robots are still working. Looking at the peppers piled up in the open space, although it covers a large area, it is still acceptable. In other words, even if a few years didn't happen in the dream, a few years had passed in reality. After the Penglai incident, she now has a shadow of a dream of hundreds of years. Since that wasn't the case, there was only one possibility left. The Edward is in trouble. With a single thought, she had already left the space. Interstellar warfare was actually very tragic. Robots only knew how to accept simple orders, but when it came to operating the battleship, it was inevitable that they would not slack off. But the Edward was really lacking in manpower. No one would have thought that such a huge starship would only have a few intelligent lifeforms on board. They weren't even warriors. The siblings of the Ma family, Han Weiya, and Will Colin, none of them were mecha operators, and they were not proficient in combat. It was all thanks to Xiaoji. If Xiaoji hadn't been a battle-oriented intelligent brain of the starship, it would have been caught unprepared during the ambush, and the starship would have been destroyed. However, the power gap between the alliances could not be ignored. As the garrison base of the Alpha Alliance on the Earth, the Alpha Alliance didn't need to send the most advanced starship to deal with a small rank 1 member star. Compared with the Nami Alliance, the Edward was indeed a bit behind. If you were behind, you would be beaten. This was a simple sentence summed up by the former Red regime of Huaxia. The Edward was now in a position to be beaten. This place was close to a barren asteroid belt, where countless cosmic dust floated. The navigation line was not clear, but it was the fastest and most convenient route to the Nami star. As long as they crossed this asteroid belt and jumped according to the galactic coordinates, the Edward would be welcomed by a broad road. The road after that was the commercial hub of the Nami Alliance. No pirates had ever dared to commit crimes on that route. The Edward was hit by another energy cannon. Everyone on the starship could feel the virtual light screen trembling. Damn it, it must be that Windsor's doing. She followed us like a dog's skin plaster. It turns out that she conspired with others to ambush us here. Ma Yiming hammered the table with hatred. The young man didn't know how to flirt. In his eyes, the beautiful Windsor was not as pleasing as his sister. The Edward hadn't decided to go with Windsor. However, Lin Luoran suddenly did closed-door training for a long time without any movement. They stayed on the N2 planet for several days. Seeing that the wedding of the royal princess of the Nami star was approaching, Lin Luoran showed interest in attending the ceremony more than once. Colin Wer was older, so he made a decision. They should go to the Nami star first. Windsor didn't know why she insisted on following them. Colin Wer thought for a while. Instead of letting the female pirate play tricks behind his back, it was better to put her in the light. So, he agreed to let the two starships go together. Even so, he was still very wary of Windsor. On the surface, he agreed to go with Windsor, but in fact, he would only tell Windsor the target coordinates before the jump. In such a short time, no one could arrange an ambush and wait for them to come. For example, now, the Edward didn't notice to change its route until it was too late. It made Windsor very angry, but the Edward was also uncomfortable. In this jump after changing its route, the Edward just passed through the temporarily opened wormhole which seemed to be unstable. Then it was attacked by artillery. The Edward had been staying in this remote corner where no one cared about it for 2 days. After the initial attack consumed countless combat airships, it was forced to enter a defensive state. Ma Yiming scolded Windsor for being black-hearted. Colin Wer calmed down a little. It's not Windsor. Although her starship didn't fight hard, it was suspected of saving its strength. The enemy's artillery was merciless to it. If Windsor conspired with others to intercept various, Reiki ingredients, that did not exist on the Edward, she should have taken action after 2 days. However, Windsor hadn't dealt with them yet. She was also in a state of being beaten. Reiki ingredients were very expensive, and Windsor didn't need to risk a huge starship. After deducting the combat cost, the final loot might not even be enough to repair the starship. How could a pirate leader be so stupid? Cyan Little Fox lies under the table in the central control room. It has just woken up from a sweet dream. Ma Shuangshuang touches its head and comforts it. Don't be afraid. We will win. Will we win? Everyone can hear the frustration in Ma Shuangshuang's words. It is so unreliable. Cyan Little Fox is thinking whether it should clean up those jumping alien barbarians by itself. However, it feels a familiar breath. It gently tilts its head and looks in a certain direction. Its wet fox eyes are cute and lovely. Boss, if we continue to be beaten like this, we will lose money this time. A thin young man with a pale face stands next to Windsor, reminding her of the starship situation at this time. Repairing the starship costs money. Energy costs money. If they don't fight back, won't this smuggling trip be in vain? The money they earn is not enough to repair the starship. How can they be pirates like this? The thin young man is the butler on the starship. He is very sad about Windsor's prodigal behavior. He nags her several times, but Windsor remains unmoved. Boss, what on earth are you waiting for? Dumbstruck speaks nonsense and pokes into Windsor's mind. Should we help the Edward starship, help the other starship, or wait for the Edward starship to be defeated? Boss, you have to say something. The fat man nicknamed Dumbass is also from the Nami star. He has always been supported by Windsor quietly. Everyone has secretly speculated about the relationship between the two, but they have no clue. However, they know that it is always right to push Dumbass to speak out everyone's mind at this time. What are they waiting for? Of course, they are waiting for the mysterious master on the Edward starship who has never shown up and has scanned the starship, friend, with his spirit power. Of course, she doesn't know that there are actually a lot of discussions about friend on the Edward starship. How can interstellar pirates be friendly? It's a pity that nothing happens after waiting for 2 days. Windsor. Shi Yan's green eyes are full of fire. She can't stand being beaten all the time. She doesn't know how the other person can stand it. Or is the gentle spirit power like water ripples that day just her illusion? Windsor. Shi Yan feels that her spirit power is almost in disorder. Boss. The potato chips stuffed in dumbass mouth fall to the ground. He points at the virtual optical screen. His white fat fingers are shaking and his eyes are bulging like the aborigines of a remote planet. Windsor turns her head. Her almost chaotic spirit power is poured with a spoonful of boiling oil. Many asteroids become the background. In the gunfire, a figure is walking in the interstellar space. He is as graceful as a fairy. Who can tell her how a person can walk easily in the near-vacuum interstellar space without external help? Chapter 456. Linny is angry. As residents of the sacred pearl space where she never leaves, the three fire phoenixes know Lin Luoran's temper very well. Most of the time, Lin Luoran is like a nice person. That's because she only has emotions for people she cares about. She doesn't care about many humble provocations. However, at this moment, the fog in Lin Luoran's mind has just been removed. She has a great ambition to break through the late bearing essence period and successfully gather vitality. However, the sudden attack disturbs her ethereal state of mind. The feeling of breaking through at one go is gone. How can Yen not be angry? I bet 2 mangoes. Linny is going to kill them this time. Fire Phoenix presents the situation outside to the residents of the space through a fire mirror and broadcasts it live. As for the mangoes, it is planted by Lin Luoran anyway. It doesn't feel sad if it loses. Wood Wolf rolls its eyes. Why don't you bet on the flame wood? Everyone can see that she is going to be mad. Ahem, I bet 2 rabbits. Linny will kill them in a quarter of an hour. Fire Phoenix glares at it and tells Wood Wolf to go away. It bet 2 mangoes. There are still mangoes in space. It is just offering Buddha with borrowed flowers. Damn Wood Wolf, how can there be rabbits in space? It is obviously trying to trick the wolf with nothing. No, the Phoenix Emperor. Little Silver Fish watches Fire Phoenix and Wood Wolf fight and there is only a group of shadows left. It is very embarrassed. White Fairy floats over like a willow branch in the wind. She straightens the peony on her bun and says, if they fight again, there will be no fun to watch. I bet 2 top-grade spirit stones that Linny can kill them in a quarter of an hour. There is a lot of noise in space. Lin Luoran has a headache. She simply cuts off the connection with the sacred pearl and finally wins the silence. Walking in the interstellar vacuum, there is a sense of freedom and comfort. With the sacred pearl in hand, she never worries about the lack of oxygen and cosmic radiation. Most of the time, it is a reliable and powerful intimate little cotton-padded jacket. She suddenly appears in a relaxed manner. Not only the enemy's gunfire stops, but also several people on the Edward starship are stunned. Ma Shuangshuang comes to her sense and stomps. I knew Aunt Lin would not leave us. Ma Yiming's stiff expression turns into a smile. Han Wei's eyes turn red. Colin heaved a huge sigh of relief. At the critical moment, there would always be a person who would stand out like a divine soldier descending from the sky to encircle them safely under his wings. This feeling of being sheltered was the same for these people who had gone through different experiences. Aunt Lin, you can do it. Ma Shuangshuang puts her palms together like a trumpet and shouts loudly. Xiaoji transmits her voice to Lin Luoran's earrings. Lin Luoran dodges a particle cannon. She turns around and makes a face at the Edward. Everyone laughs. Lin Luoran is still in the mood to chat and joke with her family. Since Lin Luoran's strange appearance, the starship that attacks the Edward has been approaching the level of madness. A bunch of good-for-nothings. That woman is still approaching. It was getting closer. Stop her. How can a human survive in a vacuum? That woman must have the best products on her. Everyone, don't be afraid. Focus your firepower and kill her first. The loud voice makes a group of operators unable to raise their heads. Their fingers are flying on the keyboard, calculating the attack angle and trajectory. It's a busy scene. The despicable attacker. The commander on the unknown starship is obviously a layman. He only knows how to yell and scold. The deputy commander knows something. They have just launched several particle cannons, each of which can blow up a hill. However, the woman who suddenly appears on the opposite side has escaped safely. How is it possible? Particle cannons use charged particles to accelerate the launch through a particle accelerator. There is no gorgeous light and shadow effect. Basically, it can't be seen without any reaction, in other words, it can only be seen when it explodes. It is the best way to attack in a vacuum. However, she has avoided all of them. How on earth did she do it? If he has a chance to ask this question, Lin Luoran will be happy to tell him. Because she is a cultivator. She is a cultivator who is too strange and mysterious for a technological civilization. Lin Luoran's spiritual mind weaves a fine net. This net extends infinitely in the middle of the 3 starships. It is a piece of cake for her to avoid the invisible particle cannons. For a moment, she even feels that she has become an omnipotent god in this world. That is a kind of control that is clear in her mind. She suddenly remembers the evaluation of Earth cultivators by her old rival, the fake Saintess. Earth natives do not understand the real magical use of spirit power. Spirit power, spiritual mind is spirit power. Is its real use for interstellar war? Lin Luoran feels that things are not so simple. However, she still has a long life to lift the veil of personal ability cultivation step by step. She can afford to wait. The unknown starship can't afford to wait. The enemy's attacks are getting more and more intense like rain. Seeing a combat airship roaring over, Lin Luoran pretends that she is not tired. She shakes her head in the air. In her spiritual mind, she can see that the people on the enemy's starship are smiling. Lin Luoran also smiles coldly. She can use her spiritual mind to attack now. Without the person operating the starship, the enemy doesn't have an independent intelligent brain like Xiaoji. The starship will become an iron shelf and she will win the war. However, she will not. Lin Luoran's grievance makes her angry. This time, she decides to use the cultivator's attack to show these bullshit alliances how she defeats the so-called cutting-edge weapons. For a moment, Lin Luoran seems to return to the blood-boiling battle of defending Dongting City. Those compatriots who are fighting with mutant monsters for living space and seeking for survival and development. Even if the Earth before the new era is not good, it is still their home. Will they be beaten if they are backward? Will they be invaded if they are underdeveloped? The technological civilization of the Earth has only been developed for a few years, but it has been broken on the way to the interstellar. The soldier operating the airship is overjoyed to see that he has knocked Lin Luoran aside without any resistance. The cannonballs arranged in a zigzag pattern leave the launcher. Lin Luoran doesn't dodge but stands still. The expected explosion doesn't happen. 3 cannonballs are frozen at the tip of Lin Luoran's fingers like a human pyramid. Yes, the gorgeous white light binds the cannonballs with great impact. They are abruptly stopped. Not only the people on the enemy's starship are stunned and can't believe it, on the Edward, the brother and sister of the Ma family, who see all this through the virtual light screen, are also overwhelmed with emotions. They have also heard about the cultivator's legend, and they are lucky enough to be accepted by Lin Luoran. However, they have never seen this gorgeous spell with their own eyes. They don't know how this gorgeous spell shines like a star in the dark and blue space. This scene deeply shocks the brother and sister of the Ma family. Years later, when they become successful in personal ability enhancement, they will smile when they think of Lin Luoran's carefree action today. That is the legend of Aunt Lin, and they are the witnesses. At this moment, the 3 starships all witness the counterattack. Lin Luoran's fingertips slide, and the 3 solidified cannonballs suddenly change direction. The airships on the opposite side move in a panic. How can they dodge at such a close distance? Bang! 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 This is the automatic dubbing in everyone's mind. Sound can't be transmitted in the vacuum. Everything is like a silent movie, silent and colorful. Because of such silence, sometimes it seems particularly terrifying. The 3 consecutive attacks are all the skills of the Nami alliance. It is obvious which is more powerful, the spear or the shield. The airship explosion not only causes the air waves, but also the debris of the airship, which has no air resistance, brings heavy losses to the weapons and equipment of the enemy's starships. In retrospect, many people will wonder about this unreasonable chain reaction. How can the debris after the airship explosion be so powerful? However, at that time, everyone is surprised by the domino effect of the explosion, like someone igniting the fuse of firecrackers. The airships hit by the debris all explode one after another. The turbulent airflow spreads, blowing the ribbon on Lin Luoran's head up. Only she knows that the surface of the debris is covered with a group attack spell cast by a cultivator who is about to enter the Gathering Vitality realm, that is the sharpest of the 5 elements, gold. She doesn't believe that she can't cut the alloy plate forged by the Nami alliance. The ignited firecrackers are extending to the enemy's starship. At this moment, Lin Luoran has been regarded as a monster by the enemy. Cool, it's really cool. In the friendship, Windsor. Xian is surprised, amazed, and then laughs out loud. When she laughs, she is high-spirited. She is really unparalleled. She has never thought that there is a woman who can fight against a huge starship in this interstellar world. This is a scene she has dreamed of countless times but has never seen. Windsor laughs so hard that tears come out, while other pirates shrink their necks. In the same way, they have never seen a woman who is more powerful than Queen Windsor. God, is there any way for men to survive in this world? In Windsor's laughter, the scene in the field changes again. After the explosion, the enemy's starship is full of holes because of the debris. Before it can make an emergency response, Lin Luoran takes a step and comes to the top of the huge starship. This is the footwork she figured out after observing the man in robe's footwork in her dream. When the man in robe takes a step, he may really be able to cross mountains and rivers. Although Lin Luoran's step only covers a few hundred meters, she is satisfied at this moment. The moment she looked down at the starship from above, no one felt that she was insignificant anymore. Instead, a huge object like the starship was ignored by everyone. Because everyone's eyes are on Lin Luoran. At this moment, she is so bright, like the legendary goddess of war of the Nami alliance. Holding a shining sword, she condenses a huge amount of energy and slashes at the top of the starship. Seeing this scene through the fire mirror, White Fairy's eyes are shining. She hasn't seen anyone use this sword skill in front of her for more than 1,000 years. In the cold misty peak, in addition to the charming female cultivators, it is also famous for the exquisite water spell of sword in the world of cultivation. Compared with poetic names such as Frost's Fall and Auspicious Snow, the last move is extremely domineering and ruthless. It is called quietus. Chapter 457. The flying sword is like a rainbow. It flies out of her hand and cuts down from the sky. All the light in the universe seems to be captured at this moment. Kant once said that there are 2 things in the world that can make people's hearts tremble. One is the brilliant starry sky above our heads, and the other is the lofty morality in our hearts. Among interstellar civilizations, the strong prey on the weak. Morality has become a synonym for the aristocracy to cover up their hypocrisy. When their technology can touch the stars, who will care about the starry sky above their heads that has been crowned with countless beautiful wishes? Looking closely, the asteroid is full of craters and rocks. How can it be beautiful? However, the people of the Nami alliance who have witnessed this scene will never forget the brilliance of this moment. All the brilliance is concentrated on the tip of Lin Luoran's sword. White Fairy even raises her chin slightly in the space. Lin Luoran's surprising move is a sword move from the Misty Palace. Although the Misty Palace declined after her, it is still in the distant starry sky beyond the earth. It is destined to make a stunning appearance. No matter how slow the camera is, the sword move still doesn't move according to people's will. It falls in a split second. Can a full move of a gathering vitality cultivator defeat the starship made by the Nami Alliance, which ranks the top 5 in the galaxy? Other cultivators may be unpredictable, but Lin Luoran is different. White light splashes everywhere. The bright sword cuts on the top of the enemy starship. 3 seconds after the white light disperses, there is no abnormality or explosion. Several people on the Edward starship are perturbed. Windsor and the pirates on the Friend starship feel sorry. Everyone on the enemy starship returns to their original place. They burst into laughter. The starship's beam flashes at a certain frequency, sending a navigation signal representing ridicule. Only the residents in the space cheer in unison. I won. Bring me the mango. Banker, give me 4 rabbits. No. I don't care. Go and get them. White Fairy smiles, my bed is the closest. Don't forget the top-grade spirit stones you owe me. You must pay them in the future. Fire Phoenix and Wood Wolf look at each other with the same hatred. Sure enough, the human race is the most insidious and cunning. Aunt Lin, she failed. Ma Yiming blushes. Xiaoji is so stupid that he translates the signal language of the Edward and Lin Luoran. Ma Yiming is so angry that he almost explodes. What can Ma Shuangshuang and Han Weiya understand? They can't answer Ma Yiming's question. Colin's eyes twinkle. His pupils separate and contract again. The sword just now is so amazing that he feels it is the right choice to leave his family identity and follow Lin Luoran to wander in the universe. You must have confidence in Miss. Colin doesn't believe that Lin Luoran's sword moves have no reaction. This is not Lin Luoran's style. 1 second, 2 seconds. On the 18th second, before the enemy's cheers faded away, the roof of the starship suddenly began to crack. Since when did the shell of a starship become as fragile as an eggshell? No one answered these people's questions. The deputy commander on the enemy starship only had time to bounce himself into the nearest escape capsule. The broken alloy wall above the starship brought about a destructive airflow. It pierced through the big hole of the starship but didn't kill any Nami Alliance people directly. The vacuum produces negative pressure inside the starship. At the moment when the alloy wall collapses, the air inside the starship swarms out. The powerful airflow throws out the people who are caught off guard. They are not Lin Luoran who can walk in the universe without a spacesuit. In fact, when the surrounding air pressure drops below 47 millimeters of mercury, the water in various tissues will turn into steam starting from the surface of the skin. This will cause surface cell failure and a lot of body heat will be lost due to evaporation. After 6 seconds, the process of cell failure will spread to the heart and lungs, causing the interruption of blood circulation, followed by acute hypoxia, convulsions, and visceral muscle relaxation. Only a few people are lucky enough to escape into the airship. Obviously, the bombastic commander is not one of them. The deputy commander cries in the escape capsule. Those companions who were swept out of the starship by the airflow will not survive in such a chaotic situation, and most of them will die horribly. Don't look. Ma Yiming covers his sister's eyes. Anyone with a little common sense knows that the human body will die when exposed to the vacuum. He doesn't want his sister to be traumatized. Han Weiya follows them to the starship alone. Ma Yiming looks at the girl's pale face and his heart softens. He covers Han Weiya's eyes with his other hand at the same time. The girl's eyelashes tremble in his palm. Neither Han Weiya nor Ma Shuangshuang see that the enemy's eyes protrude under the low pressure and explode like a balloon full of air. Lin Luoran's face is cold, suppressing the nausea in her heart. She feels that after this fight, she may not be able to eat for a few days. The enemy starship is badly damaged, but a small number of people still escape. Lin Luoran sneers at the airships that flee in different directions. What's the use of escape capsules and airships? Without a starship, they can't jump through space. Even if they run out of energy in the universe, they may not be saved. However, she doesn't want to expose her strength to the Nami Alliance too early. Her right hand changes nimbly. This set of gestures has 360 movements. When they are connected, only the shadows of her fingers can be seen. This is White Fairy's personal skill. Lin Luoran also wonders how White Fairy, who is mainly a water fairy, knows such a large-scale fire spell. However, it's fine as long as it's useful. After forming 360 hand seals, all the fire elemental spiritual energy in the vicinity was drawn over. The fireball with a diameter of about 1 meter is like a meteor shower, chasing the remnants of the army. As soon as the airships and escape capsules made of alloy are touched by this flame, the surface will burn as if it is poured with oil. Of course, Lin Luoran can ignite high-density alloys because she has mixed the strange fire of space into it. Except for the broken starship, all the escaping airships are not spared. Burning requires a medium, and the fire of the 5 elements is not one of them. Lin Luoran left the starship not because she missed it, but because the Edward starship is also broken. She feels that Xiaoji needs to nourish itself. There must be something good in the starship left by the Nami Alliance. This large-scale spell has a very moving name, Meteor Chasing After the Moon. The light and shadow effect is gorgeous, and the power is so great that we can't bear to blink in front of the screen. Colin Weir swears very ungracefully, "Damn, this is a forbidden spell." The cyan little fox rolls its eyes at him. That's why the alien barbarians are so uncultured. Lin Luoran keeps a man alive. For the first time, she does not hesitate to use the soul-searching spell to invade his mind and filter his memory. Lin Luoran's spiritual mind sees that this man has a high position in the starship. Sure enough, he is the deputy commander. Humph, it turns out that they are mercenaries who are more notorious than interstellar pirates. The target of this ambush was not the Edward starship. However, the spirit rice of the N2 planet still leaked the news. They recognize that the Edward starship is not the same style as the Nami Alliance starship. They want to make a fortune, so they suddenly attack. The adjutant is full of remorse, but Lin Luoran just sighs. She is not soft-hearted. The world is difficult. She doesn't want to kill people, but others always come to her. What's the use of remorse when you are about to die? If she hadn't come out in time, the Edward starship would have been breached. Would the siblings of the Ma family, Han Weiya, Colin Weir, and the cyan little fox survive? The flame on her fingertips engulfs the adjutant. Lin Luoran doesn't know that she has destroyed the famous Wolf Teeth mercenary group with a raise of her hand, and that the commander who can only give random orders actually has a special background, which caused some trouble for her later. But now, she only feels the exhaustion after the war. She glances at the starship of the pirates coldly. The female pirate named Windsor should be glad that this ambush has nothing to do with them, otherwise, time to collect the spoils, Xiaoji. Got it. The child's voice curls up happily. Sister should beat them. Who told them to bully children? Humph. The friendship starship. Windsor. Xian grabs the collar of the fat man, Blockhead. I have a hunch that she will make the entire Nami Alliance look at her. God in heaven, she will definitely light up the dark and decadent Nami Alliance. She will definitely. Blockhead is strangled by the neck by the excited Windsor. Soon, he is out of breath and almost suffocates to death. Everyone rescued Loopy Cake from Windsor's hands in a flurry. The fat man jumped 2 feet away before he said with a trembling voice, "Big sister, I am your biological brother, not your enemy." Ah, my brother. All the mysteries in the past have been explained. But Boss Windsor and the fat man, come on, did you really come from the same womb? This chapter ends. Chapter 458. This particle cannon launcher can still be used. Well, move it back. Well, the console is 80% intact. Move it back. What? Don't you want the mecha floating in the space? Waste is shameful, Xiaoji. Do you want to take away the starship? Well. Xiaoji, we have to do what we can and just take away the precious metal parts. The defeated starship is quickly dismantled, leaving only a broken shell that can't be taken away. The other people on the Friend are full of professional worship for the Edward starship, clean and agile, accurate choice of spoils. Isn't the Edward a pirate starship pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger? They subconsciously forget the scene of Lin Luoran showing off her power. Blockhead even hypnotizes itself that the Edward starship is of unknown origin. It must be a humanoid weapon launched by the more technologically advanced Galaxy Alliance. Yes, it must be so. How can an intelligent life fight a starship alone? If an Alliance member wants to work in the starship operation room, in addition to completing their original studies, they must study in related majors for several years. Starships are powerful. They can carry passengers, haul cargo, and fight. This is the idea instilled in the Nami Alliance and even the entire Galaxy Alliance from an early age. They are proud of starships and technology. Even if they see a phenomenon that defies common sense with their own eyes, they will not believe it in a short time. If they believe it, the worldview they have built since childhood will collapse, which is very painful. However, everyone on the Friend still remembers what they saw today firmly in their hearts. The interstellar pirates who used to strike fear into people's hearts were now mostly afraid of the inconspicuous Edward spaceship. Curiosity was the minority. Only Windsor, who is in charge of the pirate gang as a woman, admires the Edward starship or Lin Luoran on the Edward. Unfortunately, the excited Windsor doesn't know that Lin Luoran, influenced by the Huaxia civilization, has always believed in the friendship of providing charcoal in snowy weather. Those who are icing on the cake can also be friends, but they can't be close friends. The inaction of the Friend in the face of the ambush can't be regarded as adding insult to injury. However, Lin Luoran will never have a heart-to-heart with those who stand by indifferently. The Edward takes the materials from the enemy's starship, refurbishes it, and equips it with some weapons. The technological gap between the Alliance and the Alliance makes Xiaoji happy as if it has a new toy. After being the goddess of war, Lin Luoran also feels that the interstellar world is full of unknown dangers. It's really not suitable for closed-door training. She has to suppress her desire to gather vitality and make plans after she goes to the Nami star. However, the cyan little fox gives itself away. Under Lin's interrogation, the little fox feels aggrieved. It doesn't need to do anything until it is at the end of its rope. The cyan little fox says eloquently, but Lin Luoran is a little disappointed. At that time, although they would not be at the end of the line, how far away would they be? It has been with the siblings of the Ma family, Han Weiya, and even Colin for almost a year, but it still doesn't take their concerns to heart. It is too cold. Lin Luoran doesn't know if it's because of the nine-tailed fox family's natural arrogance, or because the fox has always been indulging and spoiling the fox, making it feel that others' efforts are a matter of course. However, she and the Lin family have been worried about the cyan little fox for 300 years. Has the cyan little fox ever thought about telling them that it is safe? Because of this, Lin Luoran doesn't easily forgive the cyan little fox's behavior this time. The joy of victory on the Edward is gone, and the atmosphere is low. Everyone can see that there is something wrong between Lin Luoran and the cyan little fox. No one dares to be a peacemaker. They all work hard and devote all their enthusiasm to the processing of chili. Colin stays up late to write several promotion plans. Ma Shuangshuang is learning Chuan cuisine. Ma Yiming is driven to closed-door training. He can't find the sense of qi, so he is not allowed to participate in trifles. Han Weiya is immersed in studying the notes of making elixirs. The cyan little fox is alone. It guards the repaired medicine field and raises its neck proudly. The road to becoming a king is destined to be lonely. It doesn't care about those human race teasing it all the time. Stepping into the bustling business road, they can encounter starships passing by from time to time. The Edward's route to the Nami star becomes safe. Robots make utensils and bake chili. To make chili sauce, rapeseed oil is needed. Lin Luoran plants rapeseed oil in between planting chili. When she was a child, she saw Mrs. Lin make chili sauce of Chuan cuisine. Spiciness is only one of the steps. The most wonderful thing is the fragrance. Dry chili needs to be ground into chili powder, put in pepper, peanuts, broad beans, and proper salt. Then pour in the liquor brewed from grain. Finally, it is mixed with rapeseed oil and let it sit for a while. Then it is sealed. Other things are easy, but the lack of salt in the space is a big problem. Thinking of the varied food culture of the Nami Alliance, which is not related to the Huaxia civilization, Lin Luoran decides to leave the small amount of chili sauce to her own people for the time being. If she doesn't make it into Chuan cuisine, the delicious bean chili sauce can't be highlighted at all. Since it is only for her own people, she is not stingy. The liquor is flavored with fruit wine and is sealed in earthen jars. Lin Luoran is looking forward to the fragrance on the day when the jars are opened. The vinegar and soy sauce she made have all been opened. 1 or 2 jars fail to ferment and stink. Lin Luoran blushes and pours them away. The other jars taste just right, which fills her with the joy of harvest. Everyone is busy, and the voyage becomes more fulfilling. On the 13th day after solving the ambush, they come to the Nami star. This is a planet guarded by 4 satellites. It is much smaller than the N2 planet, and its diameter is about twice that of the Earth. As the center of the high-tech Galaxy Alliance, the Nami star is not as high-tech as people imagine. On the contrary, it is better than the increasingly polluted Earth before the new era. There was a large-scale scuffle in the Nami Alliance, and the Nami star became the target of the scuffle. After the war, the Nami star became a post-war ruin. In order to restore the natural environment of the mother star, the Nami people pay a lot of money and energy every year. It is said that they can build a powerful interstellar core. This is the information Xiaoji found in the interstellar network. On the Nami star, large-scale technological products are rejected, and pollution-free handicrafts are advocated. All the defense and heavy industry are arranged on the 4 guardian satellites. On their mother star, there are even well-preserved ancient buildings from more than 1,000 years ago. The Nami people's persistence and care for their mother star are just like their loyalty to the royal family. This is engraved in the bones of the Nami people, and it even affects the entire Nami alliance. Lin Luoran is very envious. Since the Nami star can be rebuilt from the post-war ruins, the Earth also has a reason to restore its old appearance. She is looking forward to that day. Thinking of the man in robes riding, Lin Luoran has a bold idea. However, her enthusiasm is ruined because her personal ability is too low. In order to restore the environment, the Nami star even arranges military defense on the 4 guardian satellites. Except for taking the passenger starship operated by the Empire and normal military handover, no one can approach the Nami star in any other way. The Edward lands on Nami Satellite 1. All the goods that are trying to be transported to the Nami star can be traded on the 4 satellites. They can also be shipped to the Nami star, rented warehouses, and then sold. The Edward can't land on the Nami star, which means that someone must stay on the starship to take care of it. Xiaoji is an artificial intelligence with independent consciousness. Of course, it can't be exposed. Everyone keeps pushing it. Lin Luoran knows that they all want to go to the mother star. In the end, Han Weiya takes the initiative to stay. Ma Yiming finally finds the sense of qi. The more primitive a planet is, the stronger the Reiki is. Staying on Satellite 1 will only discourage young people's enthusiasm for self-cultivation. The siblings of the Ma family are inseparable. Staying on Satellite 1 will only make each other worry. Colin Weir is still shouldering the heavy responsibility of selling peppers. As for herself, she has to look for Mancia, Nolan's mysterious designer. Then you stay and take care of it first. When we settle down on the mother star, we will take over. After thinking about it, only Han Weiya is the most suitable person. Although Lin Luoran doubts whether this natural idiot will be cheated away with the starship. Cyan Little Fox is also determined to stay on the starship. Lin Luoran doesn't want to indulge it this time. A child who has taken a wrong path must understand where it is wrong to turn back. There are also many finished peppers in her space. The four of them get off the starship easily. Watching the starship doors slowly close, Cyan Little Fox's eyes are full of tears. It stubbornly refuses to fall. Han Weya sighs quietly. She feels that Cyan Little Fox is very similar to her in the past. It always takes advantage of the love of its family to do whatever it wants. She can hardly remember the days when she was stubborn and willful and lived the life of Miss Zero. Lin Luoran takes the siblings of the Ma family and Colin Weir off the airship. Windsor and her party come to them. It seems that they are not in a hurry to sell potatoes. They actually want to take the same starship to the Nami star with them. Lin Luoran doesn't like or dislike them. Thinking that they used to be big customers, she nods to them as a greeting. The pirates are timid. Only Windsor murmurs, "I have a hunch that we will see each other soon." Her younger brother, who doesn't look like she has the same mother, says, "Sister, are you going to change to fortune-telling?" All the pirates look at the sky. It is inevitable that the fat man will be beaten. He doesn't deserve sympathy. Windsor, with flaming red lips, waves to her younger brother and smiles. Surprisingly, she doesn't get angry. "Little brother, come here." Chapter 459. The Nami star is really beautiful. 50% of it is covered by water. Most of it is not a vast ocean, but a scattered inland lake. In ancient times, there was no ocean barrier on the planet. Cultural and technical exchanges were open and convenient. This is also one of the geographical factors for the rise of the Nami star. It is summer on the Nami star. The heat wave is hot, but the high green coverage brings the coolness of summer. Lin Luoran and others directly choose the starship to the capital and soon arrive at the destination. The starship lands on the outskirts of the city. There are retro old cars everywhere on the road. It is said that the fuel is close to water and the exhaust does not pollute the air. And there are more carriages. Carriages? The Nami people do this to protect their home planet? Lin Luoran's mouth twitches. Colin Weir is also very surprised. The Weir family is also a big family on the Caesar star. When he was drunk, why didn't he think of using this way to show his nobility? The nobility on the Nami star comes. They have advanced technology, but they just don't drive. When he returns home, he will also get 8 white horses to pull his carriage. It is much cooler than any flying car or airship. Although the means of transportation are very retro, Lin Luoran actually finds that technology has reached a certain level. The shock absorption device of the carriage is perfect and the road is flat. Except that the speed is a little slow, it doesn't feel bumpy. They also don't accept gold coins. There is a small card swiping machine in the deputy of each carriage. High-tech is actually hidden under the retro appearance and it is a perfect combination. The coachman is well-dressed and the carriage is clean. The capital of the Nami star is called Maple Leaf City. In autumn, there are red maple leaves inside and outside the city. The natural scenery and history make Maple Leaf City a famous tourist destination in the Nami Alliance. The coachman receives so many tourists every year that he can be regarded as half a tour guide. Halfway through the journey, Lin Luoran has already learned a lot about the accommodation and food of Maple Leaf City from him. The residents who can live on the Nami star are all nobles except for the Nami star people who have some ancestral property. It is difficult for outsiders to buy houses unless they are rich or powerful. Suburban castles are everywhere. The housing prices are scarier than those of Huaxia on the earth before the new era. Ordinary people can't afford it. Nami star attracts a lot of tourists every year. In addition to a few big hotels, small residential family hotels are also a good choice. They can better experience the local customs of Nami star. Your galactic standard language is pretty good. Since you've already introduced it, why don't you recommend a clean family shop to us? The coachman smiled shyly. As long as you don't mind, I'm happy to serve you. He shows Lin Luoran and others around the city and introduces the distribution of Maple Leaf City. Then he takes Lin Luoran and others to a busy alley. It is a tavern. Many Nami people are sitting in the tavern, talking and laughing loudly. The smell of beer, barbecue, and the sweetness of cheese make it a good place. This place is not bad. The coachman took off his hat and bowed. This tavern was opened by my mother. I hope the guests from afar will like it. This is a red-haired young man with freckles on his nose. Lin Luoran is not angry about his scheming. Instead, she likes the environment here very much. Compared with the clean and elegant royal hotel, Lin Luoran feels more at ease in this family hotel, where people talk, laugh, and scold each other. Just like her Taoist name, Mortal Heart, she could only find peace and tranquility in the mortal world. The siblings of the Ma family are also very happy. They grew up at the bottom of the society. This tavern makes them feel close to each other. Lin Luoran and others are standing at the door of the tavern. They are dressed very differently from Nami Star people. There are many tourists drinking and chatting here every year. They don't bully strangers at all. Everyone laughs. Mrs. Susan, your son is back with a guest again. He is really a smart boy. He graduated from the Royal School of Etiquette. If he had the right connections, he would have been more than qualified to be a steward in the palace. But being a coachman is also a good job. The tips of the guests are quite a lot of credits. Yes, middle-aged women are not the only ones who gossip. When old men gather together, they can be comparable to hundreds of sparrows when they have nothing to do. In the tavern, a middle-aged woman in a blue dress comes out. She also has red hair, which is tied up on the top of her head. Her skin is snow white and she is very good-looking. She is a middle-aged beautiful woman. I am Susan. Are you here for a trip to Nami Star? There seems to be no other helpers in the tavern except Susan. Regulars talk and laugh loudly. They make way for Lin Luoran and others. Many people go to the high counter to refill their drinks. The wedding of the Nami royal princess is less than half a month away. People who come to watch the ceremony are crowded in Maple Leaf City. This tavern is a little remote, so it is not full. Susan takes them to the backyard. It is said that there are 4 rooms on the 3rd floor. Lin Luoran decides to buy them. The wooden building creaks when they step on it. The flower bed downstairs is full of bellflower. It is a typical medieval European-style courtyard. The room was made of old wooden planks and was very clean. There was a quill pen and plain letter paper on the long table. Sunlight shone into the room through the lattice curtains. There was a dressing mirror as tall as a person embedded in the wardrobe. Everything looked just right. Thank you, Mrs. Susan. It's really nice here. Susan wipes her hands on the apron. Of course, there are beauties in Nami Star. However, there are few beauties like Lin Luoran with black hair, black eyes, and jade-like skin. Susan rarely feels embarrassed. The bathroom is at the corner of the corridor. The weather is so bad, so I specially bring the spring water here. Maybe you can wash first. After introducing the room, Susan politely leaves. Lin Luoran contacts the Edward and tells them that she is safe. Then she asks the 3 people, are you satisfied with this place? Ma Shuangshuang has already sneaked to see her room. Hearing this, she nods fiercely. The layout here is the fairy tale kingdom I saw when I was a child. The fairy tales she can see are all works of foreign masters before the new era. Because of the social background, it is understandable that Ma Shuangshuang has this sense of familiarity. Ma Yiming runs to take a mountain spring bath. Colin Wu bears the sticky feeling of sweat. He is a little confused. Miss, it is not easy to sell our chilies here. Lin Luoran has seen Weir. One of Colin Weir's plans is to make chilies appear at the princess's wedding banquet. Naturally, it will not sell well. Lin Luoran thinks for a while and shakes her head. It's not easy to ask the nobles to eat spicy food on such a hot day. We still have half a month to plan. We should take the low-class route. She will go to the royal wedding. Watching the fun is not the most important thing. She wants to meet the designer of the yellow jadeite phoenix hairpin, the mysterious royal designer, Nolan. Nolan. Real delicacies become popular very quickly. Lin Luoran gives up Colin Weir's plan to amaze people at the princess's wedding banquet. She wants to make a breakthrough from the low-class route. She is inspired by the pub. Can these alcoholic Nami people resist the charm of beer and barbecue? Colin Weir considers the feasibility of the plan in his mind. With enough mass support, the chance of success is still very high. Is half a month enough? Not enough, so we have to act quickly. Lin Luoran looks from the third floor. The houses in these alleys are not high. The third floor is the highest and she can also see the street. There is another pub after 2 turns. The shop is adjacent to the main street and its business is very good. Several rooms are open to store beer and food ingredients. The business is very good. Lin Luoran is happy at once. Well, there is a ready-made place. You go to handle the transfer of goods to Nami Star now and bring your coconuts. I feel that they have a way out. They can make a living by selling chilies or opening a shop. Colin wants Lin Luoran to feel that he is valuable, so he works hard. Lin Luoran also wants the siblings of the Ma family to practice, so she asks them to talk about buying a yard. Ma Yiming and Ma Shuangshuang have no experience. Fortunately, Ma Yiming is willing to use his brain and asks around. Finally, he doesn't mess things up. In the end, they buy the prosperous shop with a yard, which is slightly higher than the market price. It costs 8.9 million credits. It is such a large area and it is a prosperous shop. According to the housing price of Maple Leaf City, they are in a hurry to buy it. It is natural that others raise the price. Anyway, they live nearby and they can reach their new home by climbing over a few walls. Lin Luoran and the siblings of the Ma family decorate overnight and change the pub to be more suitable for selling barbecue. The owner sells beer to Ma Yiming, which saves them some time. Colin is still handling the transfer of goods. Lin Luoran has already taken the siblings of the Ma family to buy ingredients. She doesn't plan to waste the monster meat in her space. It is not worth the loss. She has to buy local meat and other seasonings for barbecue. Mrs. Susan only feels that the new guests are very quiet. They don't show up except for eating. She doesn't expect that they have secretly prepared for opening a shop. Is Lin Luoran's so-called encirclement from the lower level feasible? In fact, she is just following them. She can sneak into the royal wedding without being noticed. Chapter 460. There is a new barbecue restaurant at number 281 Jennifer Avenue. This kind of small restaurant is very common in Maple Leaf City. Without special publicity, it shouldn't cause any trouble. At least Susan's Tavern, which is a few walls away, doesn't know that some of its tenants have become competitors, because the backyard is still under reconstruction and Lin Luoran and others haven't checked out and moved out yet. The night is falling. When the coachman's son drives the carriage home, he smells a tempting fragrance mixed with the floating smoke. Derek doesn't care much about it at first. However, he is a little unhappy when he sees several customers in the glass window. They are regular customers of Susan's Tavern. Susan's Tavern is too remote and it only makes money from regular customers. It has been living in harmony with the tavern at the entrance of the alley. Now they even offer barbecue. Are they going to kill them all? Derek rushes home and Lin Luoran happens to be checking out. Mrs. Susan invites her to stay with enthusiasm. Derek sees that the tavern is really deserted. He politely greets Lin Luoran and receives a small card. The fingers holding the card are slender and white. The beauty of Lin Luoran makes the freckles on Derek's nose turn red. Lin Luoran has already left with the siblings of the Ma family. Derek is still holding the card in a daze. Mrs. Susan pushes her son and points to the plate on the counter of the tavern. She says, "Derek, this is the barbecue sent by our new neighbor. Have a taste. They used a new spice. It's really spicy and fragrant. Barbecue sent by our new neighbor. Does this mean that the owner of the tavern at the entrance of the alley has changed?" Derek turns his head to look at the barbecue skewered on wooden skewers. The Royal Etiquette School has trained his vision and the barbecue looks really good. He looks down again. The picture printed on the small card is no different from the barbecue on the counter of the tavern. Then he realizes, is the woman the new boss of number 281? Looking at the business of his tavern is obviously not very good today. Derek holds the card in a complicated mood. He introduced Lin Luoran and others to Susan's tavern. Isn't this making enemies for his own tavern? Derek is a little sad. However, Mrs. Susan puts the barbecue on his hand. "Have a taste. It won't taste good when it's cold. The new neighbor is really nice. They mainly sell barbecue and they will ask us to supply beer in the future." Derek was stunned, and his feelings became even more complicated. He took a bite of the kebab that Mrs. Susan handed over. It was a little cold, and a fragrant spicy taste went straight into his nose. Derek was choked, and tears came out of his eyes. Mrs. Susan covers her mouth and laughs. Derek, who graduated from the College of Etiquette, cares about his manners very much. Only in this way can he look like a young man. Derek was in tears. After he finished coughing, he could not help but eat a few more mouthfuls. So spicy. The taste is not bad. The name of the new barbecue restaurant on Jennifer Avenue is so vulgar that it doesn't match the aristocratic atmosphere of Maple Leaf City at all. Hot girl. Lin Luoran will never admit that she is making a joke, but the middle-aged men who come to the barbecue restaurants still appreciate the name. The windows were bright, and the barbecue table was in the shop. The transparent operation made people feel more at ease. There was only one kind of food here, barbecue. Every guest who came in could go to the shelf to choose food. Sliced streaky pork, ham slices skewered with bamboo sticks, turkey breast meat and bony meat pieces, even chicken feet, beef, fish that no one would eat before, all kinds of cheap and common meats, and some chicken and duck offal that the Nami people would never eat before. There are all kinds of varieties. What they have in common is that they are all marinated with chili and various spices. Oh, speaking of chili, these neighbors were very interested in it. At first, it was very spicy, which made people wonder whether the barbecue was selling poison. Then they replaced the spiciness with beer, but they still remembered the spicy taste. It was better than the expensive heart-burning grass of the Alliance. It went well with barbecue and beer. These civilians felt that they finally found the food that suited their temperament. In the hot summer, they invited a few friends and ordered some barbecue. They were sweaty, but they were also happy. Occasionally, some female guests came in out of curiosity after reading the leaflet. They found that in addition to the meat wrapped in red chili noodles, there were also all kinds of vegetables here. This is really interesting. The barbecue shop also sells grilled vegetables. However, there were fresh cabbages, eggplants with purple skin and white hearts, tender cucumbers, green and yellow chives, sliced potatoes. These vegetables were arranged neatly and the color combination was very attractive. Why don't we try it too? Anyway, vegetables don't make you fat. Civilian girls were not so particular. They sat down and tasted. Some cried because it was spicy, some cried because it was so spicy, and some cried and then ordered a bunch of barbecue. The shopkeeper said that girls couldn't get drunk, so they could drink coconut milk chilled with well water. The handsome waiter held the coconut in his hand, cut it with a knife, inserted a straw, and sent it to the girls' hands. Being stared at by such a face, the girls drank coconut milk with flushed faces. Some bold girls stared at the handsome waiter. The young man's eyes were twinkling with an enchanting aura. He was really handsome. The shopkeeper was also very beautiful. Many civilian girls had stars in their eyes. This barbecue shop had good business, but there were only a few people. When they were too busy, the female shopkeeper would pick up the oil brush to help with the barbecue. It was clearly a barbecue rack with a heavy smell of oil and smoke. Why was her every move so elegant? It was really enviable. The civilian girl was envious and jealous. She hid in the corner with a heavy heart. When she looked up again, someone placed a plate in front of her. I didn't order this. I know you didn't. This is a gift from the shop. Thank you for coming to our shop for 3 consecutive days. Huh? The female shopkeeper remembered that she came for 3 consecutive days. The girl lowered her head, feeling very embarrassed. She felt that the only impression she left on others was that she was a glutton. The female shopkeeper winked at her. Just take it that I'm bribing you. After you eat the free gifts, you have to help our store advertise more. The girl nodded vigorously, and the female shopkeeper left. There was a fried banana in the white porcelain plate. The skin was crispy and the inside was sweet. The little girl ate it so much that she almost swallowed her tongue. Girls also had their own circles, and so did the peddlers. The students in the school and the servants who worked in the noble families spread this name by word of mouth. This vulgar barbecue shop called Spicy Girl spread like a virus in Maple Leaf City. One day, the daughter of a great merchant ate the roasted meat that her father bought for her. In the taste of pain and joy, the merchant discovered the true value of the roasted meat, the spice. A spice that was even better than the heartburn grass had appeared. One day, a waiter in King City was caught eating the meat skewers brought by his companion. What are you eating? It smells so good. Your Highness. It's a popular kind of civilian barbecue recently. Seeing the third prince staring at the meat skewers in his hand, the waiter handed the bamboo stick to him. Chapter 461. Have you ever eaten the barbecue on Jennifer Avenue? The obese middle-aged man talks about barbecue with a wretched expression. People who don't know him might think it's a new brothel on Jennifer Avenue. However, his tone still successfully arouses the interest of his companions. When it's time to get off work, several good friends go to number 281 Jennifer Avenue with their arms around each other's shoulders. It has become a trend among the middle and lower classes in Maple Leaf City. Young master, here's your barbecue. The courteous butler handed the barbecue that he had worked hard to get in the line to the nobleman sitting in the carriage, making it look like an underground gang activity. Needless to say, this must be a self-respecting nobleman who was curious about the barbecue on Jennifer Avenue that had been passed down by word of mouth, and thought of a way to satisfy his desire for food and dignity. Such scenes happen in many places in Maple Leaf City. Hot Girl Barbecue Restaurant has become a new trend loved by young and old in just a few days. The technological civilization of the NAMI Alliance has reached a bottleneck. It is not as dark and decadent as Windsor said, but it lacks passion. It's true that most NAMI people live their lives step by step. They are eager for some changes in their lives. Therefore, a small barbecue restaurant that brings them real, spicy taste becomes popular like a prairie fire. It's normal for the NAMI people, but it's beyond Lynn Lauron's expectation. On the 6th day since the barbecue restaurant appeared, Lynn Lauron's wish to sell chilies has been mostly fulfilled. 7 or 8 big businessmen have come to visit, hoping to buy this new spice called chilies. Of course, most of them think it's best to be the exclusive seller. At the end of the day, no one was a fool. Monopolization was the only way to maximize profits. This is contrary to Lynn Lauron's original intention of promoting chilies. If chilies are really sold by big businessmen, it means that this taste will be isolated from the civilian class for a long time. Until businessmen breed more chilies with chili seeds, the price of this spice will drop, and then the purchasing power of civilians will be able to afford it. Lynn Lauron doesn't want to do this at all. She doesn't mind making a lot of money by selling chilies as an exclusive seller. However, she can't be a fool and take the initiative to give benefits to Nami businessmen, right? It's stupid not to make money. At this point in the negotiation, if neither side took a step back, it could only fall into a stalemate. Therefore, every merchant who came to the barbecue shop to discuss business with Hot Girl received an invitation. Dear Sir, Hot Lady Barbecue Restaurant would like to invite you to discuss the dealership at 7 p.m. tomorrow. You're allowed to bring a companion. What the hell? It was obviously dinner time in Maple Leaf City. Was he going to hold a dinner party in the backyard of Hot Girl that had nothing to do with Glory? He even brought a companion with him. The merchants were confused. The son of one of the merchants served the royal family and was the personal attendant of the third prince. He felt that this was a plan to please the prince. After discussing it with his father, the ordinary invitation was given to the fat third prince. Thinking about the kebabs covered in red oil, the third prince drooled all over the floor. What? He could even bring a companion? Who should I bring? He was in a difficult position. In the eyes of a foodie, deliciousness was his life's goal. Perhaps in the eyes of other nobles, this invitation from a commoner's barbecue restaurant would be undignified. However, the third prince, who loved to eat, felt that this invitation was much more valuable than the royal jockey club or the aristocratic reception. He was in a difficult position holding the invitation until he bumped into a woman in a pink puffy skirt. The beautiful woman didn't put on any makeup, only her lips were painted with a light layer of honey-colored lipstick. Her hair was loosely tied up in a bun, and she wore a small diamond crown on her head, which made her gorgeous face look dignified. Third brother, do you need to relearn etiquette? The woman smiled gently without showing her teeth. Her gentle expression made the third prince's mouth twitch. The foodie instantly had an idea and raised the invitation in his hand. Beautiful princess, I want to invite you to a dinner party that may not be very interesting or luxurious, but absolutely delicious. Dinner party? Her Royal Highness took the invitation and her thinking side looked very gentle. The third prince felt that if the princess continued to smile so gently, his stomach would twitch. Why do I feel like vomiting? Is it because I ate 2 more chicken legs at lunch? No silver plates, no candlesticks, no candles, and red cloth table. Flower and fruit basket. You must be dreaming. Damn it, there is not even a crystal chandelier here. Along with their neatly dressed female companions, they walked past the front shop that was still open and reluctant to close. Originally, they felt a burning sensation on their faces. In order to make money, they could still bear it. However, when they came to the backyard, their anger finally rose. Well, there was a big oak tree in the yard. The open space under the tree was enough for 2 large round tables. The crystal chandelier turned into red lanterns hanging on the tree. Compared with the dancing candles, it looked a little more warm. Maybe this was the only reason why the businessman and his female companions didn't leave immediately. Everyone agreed that it had a foreign feel to it. Colin Weir smiled like a cowherd and his attentive face attracted everyone to take a seat. It was a pity that one of the 8 invitations didn't come. Colin Weir served the dishes casually. 2 pretty girls with black hair and eyes rarely seen in the Nami people are holding a large white plate each. There were small pieces of meat in the red dried chili. This is spicy chicken. Please enjoy. Spicy chicken. A new dish. The businessmen were a little interested. They felt that the Spicy Girl barbecue restaurant was reliable. Was it to show them the dishes matched with the spice, chili? However, it was puzzling that they didn't share the food on small plates. It was very rare in the Nami people's dining etiquette. Since they were here, they might as well have a taste. Many people struggled in their hearts but still tasted the chicken with a spoon. It was so spicy that their throats were smoking. The businessman who tasted the dish burst into tears and didn't know whether to swallow or vomit. Etiquette, our Nami people are an aristocratic planet of etiquette. They should show the magnanimity of a great star. They comforted themselves and swallowed the chicken as if it was poison. In order to do business with foreigners, we have to bear it. We have to bear it. The businessmen were not willing to be left behind. They all smiled fakely and ate the spicy chicken. Their throats began to smoke because of the spicy taste. They drank a lot of water. However, looking at the chicken hidden in the dried chili on the plate, they couldn't stop their chopsticks. In the end, the spicy chicken was all snatched. Colin smiled complacently. The second dish was also served on a big white plate. This is shredded pork with red pepper. Please enjoy. The red chili strips were much thicker than the chili they had seen before. No matter how thick it was still chili, wasn't it? Everyone learned the practical way of eating spicy chicken. They used spoons and forks to eat the shredded pork. Oh, this dish tasted moderate, but it was not as spicy as the previous dish. It was mild and delicious. Not bad, not bad. However, the representative of the store was Weir, who was not a stranger to them. Colin Weir, why did he only eat shredded chili? The businessman's female companion tried a little and found that it was not spicy at all. This seemingly strong but actually weak thing was sweet and crunchy. Well, another variety of chili was exposed. After tasting the delicious red pepper, the businessmen felt that it could completely enrich the vegetable basket project of Maple Leaf City. It seemed that they still collected too little information about this kind of spice like chili. The impetuous feeling of the businessmen finally disappeared. At this time, the beautiful girl with black hair and black eyes served the third dish. This is tiger skin green pepper. Please enjoy. The big green pepper was fried on both sides. It was slightly spicy and sour, a bit like fruit vinegar. What about the salty taste? It didn't taste like salt. Is it another new seasoning? Their eyes were almost shining with green light called credit points. The poor Nami businessmen didn't know that soy sauce was much more difficult to make than chili. Lin Luoran worked hard to make it, so she didn't plan to sell it at all. This is mapo tofu. Please enjoy. Damn, what is mapo? Another new seasoning? God above, please send down lightning to strike me to death. This is boiled fish. Please enjoy. Oh, damn hot girl barbecue restaurant. Did they invite them here to sell spices or to discuss the opening of a restaurant chain? Every dish was unheard of and could be used as the main dish. These were all credit points. God would be despised if he didn't make money. The businessmen had a plan in their minds. Compared with chili, they thought that if these dishes became popular in the Nami Alliance, they might make more money. While eating, they hesitated about how to start the negotiation. Several large white plates on the table were soon finished. They felt that they hadn't had enough. Why didn't the two beautiful girls serve the dishes? Everyone silently communicated their feelings of pity. Colin saw everything. He felt that he had kept them in suspense and the time was almost right. The wind chimes in the backyard moved. Someone else came. A fat man held an invitation in his hand. His eyes quickly swept over the two tables with only leftovers. He asked with a trembling voice, "Did we go to the wrong place?" "Ah, I don't accept the answer that you have finished the dishes. I despise you." Behind the fat man, a dignified and elegant woman came slowly. Her name was Weir. Colin finally stood up. Chapter 462. Tall, fat man with thick, black eyebrows and a body that could barely fit itself in a pile of cloth. Colin just feels a little familiar. The woman behind him has braided blonde hair and a shiny flower hair ornament. She is wearing the most common puff skirt dress of Nami Star's aristocrats. It is the green of the lake and her eyes are shining. She looks so demure and beautiful. Well, this girl is also a little familiar. Colin Weir subconsciously feels strange until the green eyes of the lady in the tufted skirt flash with some kind of familiar brilliance. Colin Weir stands up at once. Why are you here? A fat man who follows her all day long and a female pirate leader who has changed from glamorous and domineering to gentle and dignified. She also holds an invitation letter and appears at an occasion to promote chili. Colin Weir. Colin Weir never thinks that he is face blind. However, Queen Windsor's temperament has changed a lot. Windsor's eyes twinkle. She is obviously a little shocked. Along the way, she hears her talkative brother talking about the legendary rise of hot girl barbecue restaurants several times. She is not shocked by the success of the barbecue restaurant, but the woman who can deal with a starship alone. Does she need money to open a barbecue restaurant and sell spices? Such a person, even powerful Nami Star will worship her after knowing it. She should not be short of money. Is it for fun? Nice to see you again, Mr. Weir. Windsor pulls up her skirt and smiles as if she is meeting a good friend. She also has the modesty of a noble lady just right. The fat man feels that his stomach hurts again and he quickly changes the topic. Hey, we are not here to buy chili. We are here to eat. Didn't you say that food is provided here today? The fat man waves the invitation letter with a very ferocious expression. Some businessmen who are shocked by the dignified Windsor finally remember something and stand up at once. 3. The businessman's expression is restrained excitement. Looking at the fat man, Colin Weir can't help but think of the word gay, huaxia before the new era of the earth is really awesome. The adjective gay is really implicit and vivid. 3. What? If I can't eat, I will want to die. The businessman nods that he understands. After all, he doesn't say all the titles after 3. Weir. Countless speculations flashed through Colin's mind. The window on the second floor was pushed open a crack, and a somewhat cold voice said, "Brother Colin, let them come up." Han Weiya's side face is exposed. The curve is soft. Compared with the atmosphere of Windsor, Han Weiya has a delicate beauty. Fatty's eyes were filled with infatuation. What were they eating upstairs? It smelled so good. The fat man's vigorous body breaks through the limitation of his body size. He runs upstairs quickly. Windsor can't keep her dignified smile. Some people present have guessed the identity of dumbass, but he still makes her lose face like this. She is really angry. I won't disturb your business. Windsor smiles and holds the stairs slowly to the second floor. Pushing open the wooden door, there was smoke curling up from the inside. The silhouettes of several people could not be seen clearly in the white smoke. A line of sight fell on her, locking onto the hair ornament on her head. Windsor is a little uneasy. Is there something wrong with her dress today? Big sis, the food in their house is really delicious. It feels like I've wasted the past 20 years of my life. The fat man raises his head from the bowl with difficulty. He has not swallowed the food. His table manners are very rude. Windsor finally can't maintain her elegance. She lifts her skirt and sits down. On the table is the stove she once saw in the prehistoric museum. Is it called this? It has been a long time and she can't remember it clearly. On the stove is a basin with a big circle inside a small circle. The outer circle is a red-hot soup pot, and the inner circle is a milky white bubbling soup. What kind of eating method is this? Hot pot. Lin Luoran also didn't expect that 2 pirates would happen to eat hot pot. Today, the 2 girls are tired of serving dishes. To reward them, Lin Luoran personally cooks the hot pot base and makes bone broth as the soup base. The milky white broth with a dozen kinds of wild mushrooms is so fresh that people can even swallow their tongues. Before the new era, the hot pot in the center of Chuan province almost occupied the whole state of Huaxia. The yuanyang pot with both spicy and mild flavor is the fighter of hot pot. The fat lamb roll is monster meat. The spicy beef is monster meat. Pork ribs, rabbit meat, fish fillets. Unfortunately, there is no tripe. The vegetarian dishes include winter melon slices, cucumbers, potatoes, enoki mushrooms, black fungus, lettuce slices, and cabbage. The fat man feels that he is about to melt in the hot and spicy taste feast. A pair of chopsticks are flying around, and 1/3 of the dishes in the pot are pulled into his bowl. Seeing this scene, who can believe that this is an alien who can't use chopsticks 10 minutes ago? In her memory, there is also a fat man who loves to eat. He can think of at least 8 ways to eat a snake. He looks vulgar, but in fact, he is the most loyal person. Brother Chui, where are you now? The similar temperament makes Lin Luoran look at the fat man with more softness. Feeling that the person on the opposite side is no longer staring at her hair, Windsor feels relieved. In her bowl, there are many pieces of meat that the fat man picks for her. She uses chopsticks to pick them up with difficulty and sends them to her mouth. Her ungentle table manners finally let the fat man find his familiar sister. Sister, eat this broccoli. Windsor stares at the fat man. This guy always makes her lose face. Lin Luoran lowers her head. She always thinks of old friends today. Is it because of the hair ornament on Windsor's head? Miss Windsor, may I ask you where the hair ornament in your hair is made? Windsor is stunned. Is there really something wrong with her hair ornament? She doesn't know how to answer such a strong man for a while. Oh, I'm just asking casually. Lin Luoran buries herself in eating. She accidentally picks up a piece of chili and swallows it unconsciously. Why did she invite the Windsor siblings? It is because of the hair ornament she wears in her blonde hair, a pink diamond smaller than a grain of rice. It is based on white and light pink, and it actually forms a pink and white diamond hibiscus flower with gradual changes of color layers. Xiaoji, help me check the information. Does the Nami Alliance also have hibiscus flowers? Lin Luoran feels that she is a little sensitive, but she can't let it go. After the yellow jadeite phoenix hairpin, she also sees a hibiscus pattern hair ornament. The former is a large-scale totem of Huaxia, and the latter is the city flower of Rong City. Hibiscus Brocade City. Empress Meng Shu planted all kinds of hibiscus in Rong City. Every late autumn, the city would be covered with hibiscus flowers. Therefore, it was named Brocade City. Hibiscus flowers can be seen everywhere in Rong City. Lin Luoran knows that there used to be such a person who also loved hibiscus flowers very much. Is it you? Lin Luoran hopes thousands of times, but she still doesn't dare to really call out that person's name. Who would have thought that the most distinguished princess of the Nami Empire and the only adult prince are actually the famous pirates of the Alliance? Windsor and the fat man finally break the window paper. After eating for a few days, the hot pot diplomacy is effective. The fat man brings a real royal invitation. It is an invitation to the princess's wedding. If she had known that Windsor was a princess earlier, why would she have spent so much effort? Lin Luoran deeply feels that cultivators are not omnipotent. Searching for this species is still within the permission of the Nami Alliance to the public. Anyway, after searching for a few days, Xiaoji has not found a match that matches hibiscus flowers. So, is the person who designed the hair ornament really not a Nami person? Mancia. Nolan, how can I find you? Lin Luoran is lying on the bed, not asleep. Her spiritual mind spreads like water ripples, filtering every corner of Maple Leaf City little by little. Chapter 463. It is her friend Baojia who loves hibiscus. Growing up in the capital, Baojia has the carefree and forthright personality of a northern girl. She transferred to the misty and rainy small county where Lin's family lives in high school. There are many ginkgo and hibiscus in Rong City. Baojia likes hibiscus more than Lin Luoran, who is a native of Rong City. When Baojia first became a jewelry designer, she once said that she wanted to make a hibiscus flower out of diamonds. It is really a beauty that will never fade. However, at that time, she was only a little famous in Huaxia. There was a strange trend that, the moon abroad is rounder than at home. Local designers like her were not paid enough attention to. The beauty of hibiscus lies in the gradient of white and pink, which needs a lot of pink diamonds. With Baojia's fame at that time, Fortune House will not support her to do this kind of niche design. In the eyes of smart businessmen, the most potential consumer goods are rings, necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and at most a brooch. Lin Luoran never expected that one day she would see Baojia's vision being perfectly realized at all costs on the other side of the distant starry sky. From the fat man, the third prince, Lin Luoran gets a definite message that there is indeed a royal family named Mansia. Nolan's female designer is very mysterious. Even the royal family members have never seen her. The aristocracy has been inherited for several years. The prefix of the name is so long that even cultivators like Lin Luoran have a headache. To simplify the complexity, the fat man usually introduces himself as Windsor Judith, which is very effeminate. It doesn't match his imposing manner at the dinner table. Although his name is effeminate, Judith is a man after all. He is not interested in the jewelry used by women. Lin Luoran can't get any meaningful clues from him. Lin Luoran was feeling homesick before. When she finally steps out, she searches Maple Leaf City with her spiritual mind. She startles several gulls and herons, but she doesn't find any breath of cultivators. At that time, she was very disappointed in her heart. Nolan is not Baojia. When Judith brings the news that this female designer is low-key and mysterious and does not live in Maple Leaf City, Lin Luoran has many more thoughts. Won't this designer show up at your sister's wedding? Fatty Judith stares at the 2 strings of bird eggs roasting in Lin Luoran's hands. The food he got from the bird's nest is delicious even before he eats it. I don't know about that. The royal family can't force a master with unique skills to appear. Maybe if she shows up, she'll show up uninvited if there's a jewel or masterpiece in the world. Lin Luoran sprinkles chopped green onions on the roasted eggs and says meaningfully, Your Highness, you are actually very smart. Prince Nami has the same idea as her. Instead of looking for a needle in a haystack all over the world, it was better to put himself in the light and let Mansia. Nolan took the initiative to look for him. Judith takes over the bird egg with a pious expression on his face, It smells so good. By the way, my sister invites you to ride horses in her manor in the suburbs this afternoon. Lin Luoran is not very interested in riding, but Windsor should know more than Judith. Unfortunately, Princess Xian, who has dual identities, is in the countdown to her wedding. The royal family keeps a close eye on her and doesn't allow her to go out of the palace anymore. If Lin Luoran wants to see her, it is a good choice to go to the manor. I agree. Thank Princess Xian for me. However, isn't Windsor a newlywed now? It is said that the old king's health is getting worse. Windsor is the eldest princess and she has no elder sister or elder brother to help her. However, she has a younger brother who only cares about food. She should be very busy with many things for the wedding. Why does she have time to invite her to ride horses in the manor? Is she nervous about getting married or does she have something to say to her? Lin Luoran thinks for a while and then denies the former possibility. No matter how elegant the high-spirited female pirate leader pretends to be, she is probably insulated from emotions such as shyness and nervousness in this life. Then there is only the latter possibility. Lin Luoran thinks about it and tells everyone in the barbecue shop to take a holiday. She wins a lot of praise. In fact, since Judith and Windsor came that night, the chilies have been sold smoothly and they have really succeeded in entering the royal family. This barbecue shop doesn't want to open again. However, Derek, the son of the Susan Tavern where they used to live, comes to apply for the job. Barbecue is about the freshness of the raw materials, the appropriateness of the fire, and the skill of seasoning. It is not a secret recipe that Derek really wants to learn. Lin Luoran doesn't want to stay on the Nami star for the rest of her life. She doesn't care about keeping her craft a secret. She is very happy to hire the red-haired boy Derek. The siblings of the Ma family are freed. Colin Ware puts on decent and clean clothes again. He feels indescribably happy. No matter how well the environment of the Nami star is protected, it is difficult to compare with the Reiki in the deep mountains and forests. Lin Luoran and Derek have signed a contract. She has almost completely delegated the management of the barbecue shop. They have to find another place suitable for personal ability enhancement. There are other urgent things, except for finding Mancia. Nolan is the matter of building the Taoist route for Han Weiya. Of course, there is also the matter of her breaking the golden elixir and gathering vitality. If one's personal ability is not high enough, it will lead to hidden dangers in personal ability enhancement. However, it is not a good choice for a cultivator to hold back from advancing when the Wakan in the body is abundant. Just after noon, when the sun is at its highest, a gorgeous carriage pulled by 4 horses stops outside the Hot Girl barbecue shop. It comes to take Lin Luoran and others to a manor belonging to the royal family on the outskirts of the city. Ma Shuangshuang and Han Weiya are still at the age of playing. In fact, neither of them can ride a horse, but they still excitedly wear the riding boots they bought on the N2 planet. They are ready to see an opportunity to show off their skills. Colin Weir has seen many big scenes. It is not the princess of the Caesar star who wants to invite him, and it is not a superior and subordinate relationship. He is much calmer. Ma Yiming always cares about Lin Luoran. His idea of protecting his sister is actually very simple. Now everyone has come to the Nami star. Only Cyan Little Fox stays on the Edward starship. It is still on Satellite 1. Thinking of Cyan Little Fox, Lin Luoran also has a headache. This damn fox is really stubborn. It refuses to bow its head and admit defeat. The star moves eastward. Different from the Earth, the sun on the Nami star rises in the west and sets in the east. The sound of horses' hooves accompanies them all the way. The aristocratic and elegant means of transportation is really slow. It takes them more than an hour to reach the manor mentioned by Judith. Huaxia people like to build high walls to enclose their land. This grassy royal manor on the outskirts of Maple Leaf City is only built with gravel as high as half a person. It is really careless. Well, if it were not for Judith's fat man waving at them at the intersection in gorgeous clothes, Lin Luoran and others would think that the coachman has gone the wrong way. Judith is wearing a purple men's suit today. The ruffled collar of the white shirt completely covers his neck. Because of his height, the fat man's figure is not hopeless. He is not slender, but he is still handsome. Unfortunately, Judith always looks silly when he smiles, which blurs his advantages. Ahem, it highlights his shortcomings. Miss Lin, you are finally here. Judging from Judith's appearance, there is no waiter around him. He just says hello and has no intention of getting on the carriage. Well, are they going to walk? There is no end to the path. Lin Luoran still takes the lead to jump off the carriage and follow Judith into the range of the stone wall. The path is paved with the same stone, clean and free of dirt. 2 rows of white birch trees are planted on both sides of the road. The branches and leaves are luxuriant, blocking the afternoon sun. The shade of the trees brings coolness. From this point alone, the royal manor is indeed a summer resort. In addition to the white birch trees, there is a low hillside with grass and wildflowers stretching to the end of the site. It is really beautiful. This place is very similar to the Naku grassland she has been to. Windsor invites them to ride here and it is not an excuse. Judith and Ma Shuangshuang are the best at talking. They slowly cross the path. When they come to the open place, they have already seen the stone European-style castle. Windsor in a red riding suit has been waiting in front of the castle with a horse. There are no outsiders around her, so Windsor doesn't have to follow the etiquette of a Nami princess. She shows the domineering attitude of Queen Windsor. Well, Judith always thinks that his sister is a little timid in front of Lin Luoran. She is not straightforward at all. The fat girl who only knows how to eat has subconsciously forgotten that Lin Luoran once destroyed a starship as a humanoid weapon. In front of such an unknown intelligent life, Windsor's attitude is actually the most normal reaction. She can't embarrass the royal family of the Nami star, nor can she seem arrogant. She also has to wait for an opportunity to get close to Lin Luoran. It is difficult for Windsor to balance the scale. Miss Lin, do you know how to ride a horse? It is also a good pastime in your spare time. There are several horses tied to the stakes. They are all quite docile. There is no one else present. Lin Luoran has only met Windsor once. However, Xian has guessed Lin Luoran's character. It seems that Lin Luoran is not a lively person, so she doesn't let the waiter and the trainer be present. Lin Luoran sees that Ma Shuangshuang and Han Weiya are eager to try. She laughs and says, "You know how to ride before you learn." Judith and Ma Shuangshuang are good friends. He quickly recommends himself, "I can teach my two sisters." Ma Yiming's face darkens. Judith is too friendly. That is his sister, okay. The Siscon is very aggrieved. He hates that he can't ride a horse. Windsor is about to say something. Lin Luoran's eyes are fixed. Besides us, Princess Windsor seems to have invited other guests. How is it possible? Miss Lin is a distinguished guest. Of course, we have to entertain her alone. Chapter 464. The sound of horses' hooves is getting closer and closer. Windsor is undoubtedly embarrassed on the spot. She can't keep the smile on her face and her green eyes are flashing with danger signals. Judith shrinks his neck. His sister has this kind of look when she is provoked in interstellar navigation. It's really scary. It has nothing to do with her. Lin Luoran also whispers to Ma Shuangshuang and Han Weiya about the advantages and disadvantages of several horses. Her herding days in the Naku grassland are not in vain. Even after 300 years, the knowledge of identifying good horses is still deeply remembered in her heart. You say you like this sister? The date red horse shakes its neck and whinnies in a low voice. Lin Luoran smiles, Shuangshuang, you choose this one. This little guy likes you very much. The date red horse chosen by Lin Luoran is very tall. Windsor was originally prepared for a man like Colin Weir. Looking at Ma Shuangshuang's slender body, Windsor wonders if Ma Shuangshuang can jump on the horse's back. Ma Shuangshuang is surprised. With some longing, she boldly touches the nose of the date red horse. The horse's nostrils sprout hot air, which makes the girl surprised. Then she giggles again. The sound of horses' hooves is approaching. Windsor forces herself to look away from Lin Luoran and others. The people coming are so imposing and they have so many people. When the people come over the slope and see the leader, Lin Luoran clearly sees that Windsor's pale face changes into understanding. It is a young man in a black riding suit with golden rims. His appearance is flawless. He is Colin Weir, who can make little girls scream. Even Colin Weir is inferior to him. If you have to nitpick, a pair of silver-gray eyes add a lot of haze to the young man's face. It's him. No wonder. Judith pouts, Miss Lin, let's go to the hillside over there to see who has better riding skills. We should stay far away from this person. Out of sight, out of mind. Judith only cares about eating. He has never shown his dislike so obviously, which makes Lin Luoran curious. Who is he? Windsor smooths the wrinkles on her gloves and acts like Princess Nami. Seeing the young man dismount and walk in, she says, Hello, Duke Chow, I don't remember inviting you today. Judith wants to lead Lin Luoran and others away. However, he is still worried that Windsor will be at a disadvantage if she faces this person alone. Therefore, he takes a few steps back and lowers his voice. He is the husband father chose for my sister, Duke Chow. Lin Luoran says, Oh. This statement is quite interesting. Judith doesn't say that he is his brother-in-law. It seems that Duke Chow is not recognized by the fat man. Princess Windsor, do you blame Frank for coming to the manor without permission and disturbing the master? The young duke's tone is full of mockery. He has such an attitude towards Windsor before the wedding. He comes uninvited with a large group of people. Lin Luoran finally knows why the fat man doesn't like his future brother-in-law. However, was Windsor willing to marry such a person? She still remembers the high-spirited beauty with red lips. Since she disguised herself and went to work as a pirate, is it really just for fun? Windsor snorts coldly, "Duke, it seems that you have forgotten that we are not married yet and we are not a family. I still have friends here, so I can't accompany you." Windsor turns her head and asks for Lin Luoran's opinion with her eyes. After getting Lin Luoran's approval, she takes the initiative to go to the other side of the grassy slope. Lin Luoran only needs to use the holy spell, Listen, to communicate with the horses. It is easy for her to choose the most suitable horses for Ma Shuangshuang and other beginners. The horses chosen by Windsor are all docile. Lin Luoran and Windsor ride the horses. Judith gets the opportunity to show off and is teaching Ma Shuangshuang and Ma Shuangshuang to ride. A group of people completely ignore Duke Chao. The young and gloomy Duke stays in place with his people. One of his men comes forward, "Duke, that person doesn't care about that." Duke Chao snorts coldly. He says slowly in a voice that only he can hear, "That bitch. I will deal with her after the wedding." Even his men standing beside him don't hear it clearly. However, Lin Luoran has excellent hearing. Tens of meters away, Lin Luoran turns her head to size up the arrogant young duke. She frowns slightly. Although she is not very familiar with Windsor, they are both women. Does she really want to see her jump into a fiery marriage? The handsome Duke Chao talks arrogantly before marrying Windsor. Windsor is really not a good match for him. However, there are only 5 days left before the wedding. Lin Luoran is a little hesitant. Windsor leans on the back of the horse. Her blonde hair is blown by the wind. The princess's dignity is completely gone. There is only confusion left. "Miss Lin, I am very confused." At this time, no matter how noble and self-reliant a woman is there only one way left for her to get married? Windsor asks her to come here because she has a premarital phobia. However, they are just acquaintances. How can Windsor say these words to her? Lin Luoran doesn't know that Windsor has seen the scene of her fighting against the starship as an individual. Windsor has long regarded her as an omnipotent woman. Princess Nami is powerful, but she has to marry someone she doesn't like. Windsor can't think of anyone else she can talk to except for Princess Nami. Lin Luoran is puzzled, but she doesn't think about it. In the afternoon, the sun is gone. The breeze from the manor dispels the heat in people's hearts. Lin Luoran organizes the words in her mind and then says to Windsor, "Marriage is a commitment to each other. If you can't do this, you might as well not get married." Princess Windsor, women in this world, whether they are willing to get married or not, can only make themselves stronger. Even if they want to get married, they have to choose the person they like, right? Windsor tightens the reins. The confusion in her eyes recedes a little. She lowers her voice, "Lady Lin, you may not know that the Nami Empire looks bright on the outside. Under the prosperity and peace, there are many unsolvable problems. The royal family is in trouble. My father is old and sick. The only prince is not suitable to be the crown prince at all. Duke Chao's family is the most powerful ally of the royal family. My father expects me to get married quickly and give birth to a reliable heir for Nami as soon as possible." Lin Luoran lowers her head guiltily. She was born as a royal princess. Since she has enjoyed all kinds of glory, she should make contributions to the continuation of the royal family at the right time. The Nami royal family turns from victory to decline. The power of the principality has shown signs as early as hundreds of years ago. However, the royal family has had difficulties in having children for hundreds of years. In her generation, she and Judith are the only ones who grow up safely. She has also made a great wish to rectify the situation of Nami. For this reason, she has been to every corner of the Alliance as an interstellar pirate. The influence and control of the Nami star on the Alliance are weakening. Windsor confirms this cognition, but she has no way to turn the tide. She regards Lin Luoran as an omnipotent and powerful woman. She talks a lot, but Lin Luoran looks indifferent. She rides on the horse unhurriedly. Windsor's bad mood because of Duke Chow gradually calms down. In fact, Windsor doesn't need any really useful advice. She just needs a target to vent. Lin Luoran's origin is a mystery and she is not involved with any forces. Instead, she can tell the truth, this is enough. There are 5 days left before the wedding. No matter how much she hates Lin Luoran, she will still marry Duke Chow at that time. Windsor is a little dispirited. Lin Luoran, who is riding on the horse, is silent for a long time. She suddenly says, instead of marrying someone you don't like, there is actually another way. It is more reliable than pinning hopes on an heir who will be successful or not until many years later. Princess Windsor, do you dare to try? What is it? Windsor pulls the reins and holds her breath. Lin Luoran touches her black hair which is messed up by the wind. She feels that she is like a tempting banshee at this moment. The way is, you become the heir yourself. Windsor is stunned, but no woman has ever been crowned as the monarch in the Nami Empire. Lin Luoran whispers a few words in the horse's ear. The horse suddenly speeds up and leaves Windsor far behind. Her voice is sent to Windsor's ear by the wind. There is a saying in my hometown that the first person to eat crabs is a brave warrior. Princess, you can accept the worst situation. It is better to break down and build up. You can create a new situation for the Nami Empire. Windsor is stunned. A woman is the king. This mysterious Miss Lin really doesn't let her down. Windsor feels that something is surging in her heart. She knows that from this moment on, her life may really change. Set things right and ascend the throne as a woman. Who can clear the obstacles in the way for her? Windsor snaps the whip and the horse catches up with Lin Luoran in front. The wind pours into her mouth. She gasps and says with difficulty and firmness, please help me, Miss Lin. Help me. There is a desire in Windsor's eyes. Lin Luoran turns her head slightly and agrees gladly, okay. There is no hesitation, as if they are old friends who have been through life and death. Windsor wakes up in an instant. There is no free lunch in the world. Such a mysterious and powerful woman suddenly comes to the Nami star and provokes her to covet the throne. Does she really have no other purpose? Windsor feels that her mind is in a mess. Lin Luoran's skirt is fluttering in the wind. They have unconsciously left several people behind them far behind. The horse's hooves step on the boundless grass and come to the foot of the mountain. The rushing river is in front of them. A cable bridge connects the mountain forest and the manor. This mountain forest is the private property of the royal family and is connected to the manor. No outsiders will set foot on ordinary days. It is quiet here, which is a good place for conspiracy. Lin Luoran doesn't feel guilty for provoking the royal dispute at all. She smiles like peach blossoms in March, which can turn the mountain forest into a stretch of beautiful scenery. Of course, Princess, if you promise me 2 conditions, I will be happy to make a little contribution on the road of Princess to the real Queen. Hearing that there are conditions and it is not a free lunch, Windsor is not angry but happy. Her worried heart is finally relieved. What are your conditions, Miss Lin? Lin Luoran lowers her head. Let's talk about the second one after you control Nami. The first one should not be difficult for you. I want to see Mancia. Nolan. She didn't want to. She wanted to see Mancia. Nolan. Windsor is very surprised. Although Ms. Mancia has been famous for many years as a royal designer, Lin Luoran offers to help her to ascend the throne only in exchange for meeting Ms. Mancia. Windsor only takes a short time to think and agrees. To be honest, Ms. Mancia has always been a loner and very mysterious. I have never seen her true face. However, I happen to be one of the few people who know where she lives. Lin Luoran smiles for real this time. Voices come from afar. Ma Shuang and others catch up. Lin Luoran thinks that she can see Mancia soon. Nolan is in a good mood. She finally has the leisure feeling of an outing. Aunt Lin, look, I can ride a horse. Ma Shuang clings to the neck of the horse and doesn't let go. She shouts. She doesn't learn to ride a horse. It is obviously a bluff. Lin Luoran has a doting smile on her face. Just like how she finds the descendants of the Ma family, she will find all the relatives and friends scattered in a corner one by one. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.